Live. All right. Signal's live now. Hopefully get some people in for this one because we are just picking off where we left off after Sunday where we ranked every game. So wanted to finish this before leaving on Monday. So I've decided to do it today. So what's up? Assuming there are people in. If there aren't anyone in, that would be kind of shit. Yeah, there are a few people in. I'll bring up the light counter, and then in a minute, we'll just get right into it. See how long this takes. Shouldn't take too long. Kind of enjoyed this stream last time, so yeah, hopefully once again goes alright. So yeah, hopefully. What's the mic sounding like? What are you doing today? Well, if you weren't on last stream, I pretty much went through majority of the games that I've actually attended over my life, as you can see, and we had them in respective tiers, and didn't quite get to finish it because it got to like 1 in the morning or whatever, and I wasn't going to finish it, so I decided we'll finish it off on another stream. So I've decided tonight we'll do that just so I can have it all completed. So I thought it was pretty interesting. I go through every game, put in a bit of a story behind it if I remember it. Give it some detail, and then give it a reasoning behind where I think it should go. So, yeah, if you think that'll be relatively interesting, then hopefully you do go on and enjoy. Hopefully we get some people in the chat. But if we don't, then I don't know. We'll wait for the footy to start, I guess, and that's when people start rolling in. All right, let's just start at 27 in. See, I feel like this is the sort of stream should get more because it's footy related, but who knows? Fucking who knows? All right, let's start off. I'm going to stop. I don't know why it says that. Let's move this here. Yeah, I did see that, Lachlan. It's good at least. Can't really say it's overall a good thing, but it's good at least he's not done anything too bad. All right, let's start off with the first game. Why can I get rid of these ads? Fuck, surely they weren't as bad last time I did this. Nah, okay. Looks like I can't get rid of them. I guess they're just gonna have to stay. Are they in the way? Yeah, the ads are actually kind of pissing me off here. Can I just click try for free and then it will get rid of it maybe? No, because I swear the ad wasn't there last time I did this. Oh, it's gone. No, it isn't gone. It's just back. Let me zoom in then so there aren't any ads. Because they're fucking annoying. I don't have an ad blocker. I'm not getting an ad blocker right now. Whatever. As long as I have it like this, we won't be running into a problem. All right, we got 110 to do today, so I hope we get some people joining. Otherwise, I don't know why I say otherwise. I don't know. Nothing really I can do about it if there's no one in. But please engage in the chat. That's the whole point of why I did this in the first place, so I get people talking about what I'm talking about as well. I don't want any rubbish brain rot in the chat if we're going to get that. Hopefully we don't get Eagles John fucking joining as well. Or anyone like that. So, starting off, we've got St Kilda v Freo 2009. Fresh tier maker, so we've got all the tiers empty. And I think with that one, that was on I think this was on a Friday night. Probably put it in great, even though limited memory. I actually do remember a little bit about this game. I think it was a Friday night, and it was definitely a night game. And I think Freo were an okay side at the time. So I think it's fair to put this. I don't think there'd be many people remembering this one, but I just want to prove it was Friday night. So I'm going to just quickly look it up. No, it was actually a Saturday night game. But yeah, you win by 83 points. So I'm going to put that in great. Next up, Also round 4 with 2010. 15-point win. So I don't think the Dockers were really that good back then. No, they weren't. They didn't even make finals. Maybe one year they did, but they didn't win a final. Let's see. This is a Sunday Arvo game. I'm just quickly getting it up just so I have a bit of a memory for this one. I think from the looks of it, if you can see here, every quarter was really close until the last. So I don't know. I don't really remember it as much as the other game. We'll just put it in like good win. This is the first game against Ross Lyon as Freo coach. So this is when, like, 2012, Ross Lyon left the club to join Freo. So there's a bit of a scrutiny towards Ross Lyon before the game. A lot of media attention. People giving Lyon shit. But Freo actually won. This was a Friday night. I'd say bad, honestly. I do remember the feeling after this game, thinking that we'd beat Fremantle because they weren't great. We didn't make finals in 2012 as well. Next up, we have St Kilda v Freo 2013. This would be, one of the better games for sure, because I know Freo were resting a lot of players, but Saints were like 16th that year. Freo were minor premiers, but the way we won, this is actually the record for most ever disposals for a team. Well over 500. Kept the Dockers scoreless at quarter time. Can't really say anything bad about this one. Before the game, I got to get on the ground as well. Won myself a signed Guernsey. So I think even though it was a smashing, and we had retirees of Kaczynski, Milne, and all that. So I'm going to put in unbelievable. Why is it only St Kilda match? It's not only St Kilda matches. It's just the order. I've been to way more than just Saints games, and you really need to realise I go for St Kilda. So of course they're going to be more Saints games, especially before the year like 2021, where I didn't really at all go to any non-Saints games because I didn't need to do that. Was that Scott Waters' last game? Yeah, it would have been, but who cares about Scott Waters? All right, next up we have Saints v Freo 2014. We won by 58 points. This is the biggest comeback I reckon that I've been to, or upset for the Saints. I'm going to bring this game up because if no one remembers it as much, I reckon this is a top 10 upset arguably of all time. The Dockers were at the time second, and we were at the time dead last with a shit-ass percentage. The difference was almost 100%. And we straight away came off the blocks and demolished the Dockers, up by over 70 at three-quarter time. Really glad I went to this one. I was considering not actually bothering going because I thought we'd get smashed, but we absolutely smashed the Dockers instead. And I think it's fair to put them in great. Not quite unbelievable. Didn't really matter as much. This game was more fun, but this game was good as well. But yeah, you are right. Whoever said Freo games, obviously we're on Freo right now. Let's go to Saints v Freo 2015. This was a bad one because we weren't in the game whatsoever. I'm pretty sure the Dockers that year did finish top 4. This is the last year they were good before dropping. The ads are going to piss me off. Which ones? Why are they going to piss you off? They should be pissing me off. They shouldn't really be worrying. You shouldn't be worrying about the ads. Oh, the YouTube ads. Didn't you say get an ad blocker? Hey, look, I'm not complaining about YouTube ads, but if that's going to be putting people off watching the stream, then maybe I get rid of them if I can. I'm going to actually put this game in awful. So we conceded the first 7 goals of the game. 7 goals straight. You can have a look at the scorecard here, actually. Did come back a little bit after half-time. We actually won that last quarter quite well, but it was over at quarter time, it felt. I remember I brought my iPad to this game, actually. Didn't do a vlog, but I recorded a bit. I have the footage somewhere. This was a game I did that. Kicked a lot of behinds, 2 goals, 9 at one stage. I'm just going to have this one in awful like I did before. This was a round 1 as well, actually. The game wasn't the best, but hey, no one expected the Saints to win because the Freo came off a semi-final. Everyone praised them heading into the year, thinking they'd finish top 8 again. No one really gave the Saints a chance. It was the first Ross Lyon coach game after coming back, so that was against Freo as well. And we won by 15 points. So where do I have this one? I mean, we had no forward line for this game. I remember Caminiti was playing. It was a pretty low-scoring game, but finishing this game off with a win, round 1, I'm going to put it in great. I think it's fair to put that one in great. Let's see what the chat's there. Not too much action at the moment. Both teams did the opposite to what they were expected that year. Pretty much. I mean, I'd say we were probably expected to finish like 13th, 14th, maybe a bit higher. I don't really know where the Saints are always normally expected to finish, but we didn't finish well the year before. And we finished 6th, but it wasn't the best 6th place finish we've ever had, or any teams had. Didn't feel like we deserved the 6th place finish in 2023. I thought we deserved to scrape in, but that was about it. This game was awful. I'll quickly talk about this game. This was last year, the game against Freo. Should have lost by more. Absolutely shit. Just such a boring game. I know it was quite close until the last quarter, but I think O'Meara kicked 2 goals in the last quarter, and they won by 17 points. UCAT was at the game with me. I think I lost my AirPods at this game as well. So a lot of bad things happened at this game. It was a shitty game. This is where we're at pretty much our worst. This was after the Hawthorn game, I think. Yeah, it was. Before the Melbourne game. What was my favourite out of all these? Well, we're going to have a look, aren't we? Because I haven't even put any in best the best yet. If we're going to have any more in, which I think we will. Next up, we have Saints Freo in 2016. Now, Freo, I don't know why they were so bad the year after 2015. They finished 2015 in the top 4. They finished 2016 in the bottom 3. So one of the biggest fall-offs I can remember from any side in recent memory. I am going to have this game in the... can't really remember actually how the game went. Well, we actually were trailing by 13 points. But then kicked 8 goals to 0 in the last quarter. I think for that reason, you probably just chuck it in good. But it wasn't the best win we've ever had. I'm going to ignore people asking for shout-outs. What's the point? Top 10 things you got to lose? Like bad things you got to lose? Yeah. But I've lost my fair share of AirPods in my days. That was probably the last time. Because I remember I lost AirPods at the Gabba for Brisbane v... one AirPod, but when you lose one, you can't use the other one. You've got to get a replacement. I lost one at the Brisbane Carlton game. Every single time, it pretty much seems to be after I come back from a trip or when I'm overseas or interstate. I remember the first ones I lost were when I came back from Sydney for the Sydney Saints game in 2022. So I think I've lost a couple. Got 40 in chat. But there isn't really any update at all. That's okay. Hold up. Alright, this is the last Freo game I think we've got. Saints v Freo 2011. Don't remember this game. So, fuck. All of a sudden, I wasn't doing this all day, and all of a sudden it happens when I'm on stream. Fuck the fake Eagles, Johns. And why do you have a third channel, mate? Every time there's a fake Eagles John, there's always trouble in the chat. Fucking the reason my streams have been going greatly as of late as well. Alright, well, let's just get through this stream as quickly as possible then. I don't really feel like people are actually giving a crap, which is a bit unfortunate. Let's do Saints v... this wasn't round 21. Did I get the wrong round? It was round 20. Alright. Friday night, won by 41 after trailing at 3/4 time. I guess we'll put this one in good. Eagles John, I don't know if that's the real one, but just hide any Eagles John account that joins the streams, Nick, if you want to, because I just fucking annoying. He's just annoying. The stuff he can say on the real account, but also the stuff that gets said on all those fakes for some reason. I don't care, honestly. You can watch the streams, mate, but you're not chatting for a little bit. I just can't be asked. I'm sorry, mate. That's just the way it's going to roll. All right, next up we have St Kilda Geelong, round 23. This was a great game. I think the feeling of winning against the Cats to put yourself in the finals as well and put them out of the finals when I was with a bunch of Cats fans as well, giving them a bit of shit and then celebrating after the game probably has to be a tier above the great tier. So we're going to put this one in unbelievable. Next up, actually before I do anything else, let me just check this up on the story. G'day, Aiden. If you've just joined us, you haven't missed out on a lot, don't worry. Only just begun. He got into himself. Yeah, every time there's one of those trolls that joins, he always makes the biggest deal out of it. That's... I know that's Tyler Nicholas. And it's the fucking off season. I hate when people think that the channel's like dead during the just hide the account. I should have ignored that actually. Why am I giving him attention? And why join on Eagles, John? Make sure you're hiding those accounts though. Like a timeout won't do it for me. A hide needs to be the way to go. Make sure they're hidden. Alright, cool. Nice. Yeah, give me a sec. I'll just check this up my story. I want to kind of get a few extra people in. Currently ranking... Actually, no, I'm not going to... No, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to put it up. No, don't bother saying hey story. I'm going to restart that one and just chuck up a photo. I wouldn't believe I have hay fever, so I couldn't tell you what the reason is. Against Brisbane. What about the Brisbane game? We haven't gotten to that one yet. Alright, checked up. There we go. Alright, what are we next up to? This was in round 2 of 2014 that was. The year we finished last, but we won our first 2 games of the year, yet we finished dead bottom. The Giants that year probably finished around, I'd say 14th, 15th. Pretty good game. I think... okay, this was actually, roof open. All right, this was a roof open game. I remember David Armitage took a really big mark as well for some reason. Just remember that. We held on. I'd say good. I'd say if you win in 2014, any of those wins are good because they come very few and far between. So I'm going to put that in that tier. This is a similar game as well, but we lost against the Giants in 2015. This is round 1. I went on the ground before the game actually for the Guard of Honor for the first time, so that was cool. If I had a photo, I'd show it up on screen, but I don't think I do. I'm going to put this one... I mean, we lost, but it was like the experience. I got onto the newspaper before the game as well. Do we? Yeah, we'll put it into decent. Can't put it into good, though, because it was an average game when we lost. I think Josh Bruce took one of the great marks that year, though, in that game, so that was kind of cool. And this was in 2017 where the Giants were actually really good that year. Finished, well, at the time we're first. And it was on a Friday night. And we beat them, I'm pretty sure, on a Friday night. Let's have a look. Just to confirm that was the case. Giants were pretty much first on the ladder at the time. They would have been first if they won that. And we pushed into the 8 after winning by 23 points. Came back behind as well from 3/4 time. So you got to put that in. I think that's the top of great. Don't remember that game as much as some of the recent ones. I definitely remember going there. I remember we actually almost made it to the game late because of the trains were delayed. I do remember that for some reason. So I'm going to put that in great, though, overall, for finishing with a win against the top of the ladder side, basically, on a Friday as well. Now, the Giants were also really good in 2018, and we were bad. This is the first game I went to back after a long trip to the States and Mexico. I think I'm going to have it, because we drew, but I wasn't expecting result. I think I'm going to have it in decent. Should have won, though, actually, because I know Jay Carlisle had a chance, but couldn't take the mark. I think Phil Davis spoiled him. Should have taken the mark. We should have won that game. I'm going to put that in decent. I've got a good memory because I can actually remember the game. Like, I don't have the greatest memory. If you told me what I did in school, 2011, first day of school, couldn't tell you. But if there are photos, or if there are, like, if I can actually look back at like the scores, it brings back a couple of memories. I've got a good memory for footy games, better than other stuff. People think I've got a good memory with this, which is fair, I guess. But I don't remember this game, actually. 2015, was it a Friday game? I know it was a Marvel, but yeah, Hawthorn were just way too good that year, so I can't really have this one high. Put it in bad. Got a few more Hawthorn games here. We got Saints v Hawthorn in 2019. We just held on. Pretty good game of footy. Close game. Hawthorn weren't really at their peak of their power, though, but this is after finishing top 4. I'm going to put that in good. Then this game as well was also when Hawthorn were bad. We were pretty shit in 2021 when we started the year, actually. But, yeah, this is during COVID times, after COVID. Big win, won by 69 points. I'm going to put in good as well. I'll vlog this game. Nick says he remembers that was a Sunday game. See, I don't remember that. I don't even remember that myself. So Nick's got an alright memory. If he can remember a game he didn't even attend, albeit it was 2015. He was older than me then, but still. Earliest game you remember was 2013. Yeah, I can't tell you much about any game before 2008 at all that I remember. But you're not going to remember a game when you're like a toddler or 3 or 4. No way. Unless you look at photos, unless you look at the scores, and then you can maybe connect the dots. When was this? This was fucking shit out. Yeah, this is arguably one of the worst games I've ever been to. You could almost put in disaster. I know it wasn't overall, didn't make the biggest deal. We still made the 8, but Hawthorn were bottom 2, maybe had 1-2 wins to their name. Expected a win, and we fell off badly in the last quarter. We should have lost by a lot more, though. We didn't play well. Hawthorn's bad kicking honestly kept us in it. And I was in the Hawks cheer squad for the last half, so not many worse feelings after this game, to be honest with you, that I can remember in recent memory. So I will put it for now an awful. It was worse than the Freo game for the way the loss occurred. But it did make for one of the better match day vlogs, AFL Legend. I do remember that one did quite well. I wonder why it did quite well. I'm sure people clicked on it to see how fucking annoyed I was with Haz in the thumbnail. How come you restarted I didn't restart the rankings. I can't fit them all into a tier. So I've got the last one here, but I can't fit them all in. So I've got to make a new one. Like, there's a limit for how many files you can add, I'm pretty sure. Either files or it might be the size of the overall file. So I had to just do a new one. Next up, we have Saints v Brisbane. Now, this was in 2004. This was one of the, pretty much basically the earliest game I can put in the list that I remember actually going. And I don't remember going to the game. I just know I went. And I thought I'd put this one in just because of it. One of the all-time great games. Now, you guys aren't going to remember this game unless you've got a good footy knowledge if you've been around for a while. Let's just put it up. I'll put up the last minute on YouTube. I obviously can't fucking tell you what happened when I was there, but I do remember the game in itself because I've watched highlights. That's all right. I'm ignoring the chat right now. I just saw a whole heap of accounts get bloody banned there. I'm not even going to take note. It's fucking Tyler Nicholas probably. Anyways, this is the game. This was an incredible crowd. I can't believe the Saints and Lions got 50k pretty much at Marvel. They were rocking this year. This was round 6. There were 5 wins in a row. This was crazy.
Good hand pass.
And Brisbane were fucking on the back of a three-peat this year as well.
Swans now. The defender can run and from a long way. Roost it.
How good was the atmosphere for this one? Look at that. You don't get that anymore. Like you got a 15,000 crowd for this game. This was 50,000. And that's back when they had the 5-minute warning as well to make the games exciting on TV. Yeah, this would have been like kick the goal with like 30 seconds to go. Now, I don't know much about Troy Schwartz, but I know this is a fucking good game. I will put it in this tier, but because I don't remember much about it, I can't have it high. I think we're going to only reserve these 2 spots if I actually have a recollection of the game. So, and plus it would have been 1. So I wouldn't have cared anyways. I wouldn't have known what it meant. I was at this game as well. This is the biggest St Kilda win of all time. The year after against Brisbane. I was at the game, but I don't remember being there. I know Milne kicked 11. I'm going to just chuck both of these at the end of great. Because in theory, if these 2 games happen like this year, they could almost be here. Like if you win by 140 points, that doesn't happen anymore. You don't score 186 in today's game. Yeah, I don't know if you remember that game much, Cooper, but I definitely have that game quite high. Next up, we have round 3, 2017. This is back when you beat Brisbane. It didn't really feel that special because they were shit. We won by 31 points, and I'm pretty sure we were really inaccurate. So far, every win I have has been a Saints game. I'm going to just chuck it again in good. I can't really have it in decent, but it wasn't really the best win. It might have been better than the GWS game, I guess. Same with this one. This is 2018. Started the season actually okay. Finished off really badly. I can't have this high. Brisbane were a mess that year anyway, so put it there. Yeah, we know that, Nick. We know that. Now, this game was pretty bad, but it wasn't a disaster, I wouldn't feel. Maybe awful. Because the Q and the rack was in the season anyways. We couldn't have made finals, so it didn't matter as much. If this is a game to like make finals or whatever, or stay in the hunt, it would go in disaster. Obviously an 85-point loss. How did we lose by that much? Brisbane went on to win the flag that year. Bit of a weird one, because we finished the year so well, but that was just a one-off, really poor game. All right, next up, this was the second loss in 2009. We lost 2 games in a... Oh, I've got the scores wrong. Yeah, I have the scores wrong. I'll show you what the actual scores were. The actual scores were 59-64. We only lost by 5 points. I don't know how we lost that game. North were like bottom 4, and we were finishing at the time like first by 2 games and percentage. I don't know how the fuck we lost that game. I don't remember a lot about it. I just remember we lost, and I'm like, oh well. I don't really care that much actually, because I knew that we were still going to finish first, and it didn't really have anything to do with the streak because we only just lost the last game, so the streak was broke. Yeah, I don't know how we lost that game. I mean, pretty bad. Yeah, pretty bad. This is a good game. This is on the night before Easter. Back when I was a kid, when Easter meant something to me, so it was actually pretty cool finishing the night off with a 100-point win. Yeah, I remember this game actually. I think Freo kicked 7. When we're over 100 points. A rare 100-point win in modern day footy. Probably been to 3 or 4 Saints 100-point wins. Last one was in 2015. We ranked that last time. No, I don't know who made AFL tables, but it wouldn't have been just the one guy. Maybe one guy had the idea, but there are a heap of developers. Wouldn't mind actually getting in contact with the people about AFL tables because I've got a few ideas that they could implement, like new different categories of stats or whatever, which would be handy if I ever wanted to use them for any sort of video or just in general. I'm going to have this game in great though. 104-point win, and I do remember a bit about it. I remember it was on Easter Saturday, and Reebok kicked 7. Round 23, 2011. Smashed North by 65 points. It's weird. I actually have more memory of 2009 games than 2011 because it was a more memorable season. Let's just put this one in good because North were not that great that year anyway, so it didn't mean a lot. I just do remember these matches because I went to it. I don't remember all of them. As I said before, like I can't tell you what happened in these games without looking at the replays, which I have. But don't remember them all. I do remember this one. So when I would have been 13 for this game. 75-82. North were on a streak of 6 games. They started that year 10-0 actually. And we probably could have won that. I know Mason Wood, when he played for North, he ran down the clock when he had a look at the shot clock. That kind of annoyed me. But North, they weren't really that good in 2016 overall. They did still make the 8. But it was a bit annoying. It wasn't shit though, because I didn't think we'd win this game, and we came very close to a North side that were 10-0 at the stage. So I'm going to probably put in average. Was it 9-0 or 10-0? Maybe it was 9-0. But they definitely started really strongly. And they didn't deserve to go 9-0 because then when they played good sides, they got exposed. 2018 final game of the round, we lost by 23 points. North didn't make finals that year. I haven't really got many games in boring. Not a Saints game yet in boring. This wasn't that bad of a game. Probably just bad though. We lost overall against a shitty side. 10-0. Yeah, I had a feeling it was 10-0. I think I said 10-0 and then Lachlan said 9. But I'll trust you. You go for North. All right, this could be the worst game that we've won in the list so far. Definitely so far. I'm going to put this one in boring. It was a shit game. I didn't even feel good after the win. It was after the West Coast game. And obviously North and West Coast that year were hopeless. You should be beating them by 60 points. The skills were bad. We were down by 20 points at 3/4 time. It was 9-0. What's a North fan saying 10-0 then for? Whatever it was, it doesn't matter. You get the idea. They started the season off quite well. Yeah, well, I know Scoops, if he's still watching, I saw him at this game. He was pissed about it. Yeah, we won, but bloody boring. It could be bad. I'll put in boring. It was a boring game. Yeah, it was close. It was boring. Just like the last North v Saints game in 2023, that could be the 2 worst combined games between the same 2 sides in the year of all time. This game was all right. I'd say it was in good, but end of good. You're playing North and you're winning against North. Who cares? This is the famous... No one in the stream here is going to remember this, but the famous Nachos game. Oh, if only like Chappie or someone was in there. He's not, though. But yeah, this was also the game that I went to as part of the travel video, so that made it all right. Stuck into level 2, second half. That was cool, but I'm not going to have it high. Qualifying final in 2009. Is this the first final on the list? Yeah, it is. This is probably going to have to go on great, even though like I don't remember heaps about it. Obviously, I remember more of this than a lot of other games in that period because it was a final. It was a Saturday afternoon game. It might have been a Sunday afternoon game. It was definitely a day game. Reebok kicked a bunch of goals, and we dominated Collingwood. They didn't have a chance. Maybe the 2 lowest scoring games combined. Nah, definitely not. Maybe one of the lowest in recent memory. Definitely not the lowest. I will put this game in the great tier. I'm going to put it ahead of the round 1 win. That Saints game against North recently, that was like 60-30. Yeah, it was 64-34. I purposely put that in boring, and I had the other game in boring as well, even though we won. Felt like shit afterwards. This game doesn't look like the best game given the scoreline. 69-41. 2010. They won the flag that year in 2010. They were really good, the Pies. Let's just have a look real quick if I got the scores right. Yeah, we beat them on a Friday night by 28 points. 50,000. Look at that. Collingwood didn't score a goal after half time. Jesus. Let's have this one in good. If I remember more about it, I'll have it a bit higher, but yeah, pretty good game, I guess, on a Friday night beating the Premiers. How did you remember that, Luke? You said that before I looked. How would you have remembered that? 2010. Okay, this game, I can't tell you much about this one, honestly. And that's the thing, right? I can't remember much about 2011 games. So I'm not going to talk about this one for too much. Let's just put it in bad. 19-point loss. Pies obviously were good that year as well. They were, I think, almost better than Geelong, actually, that year. This game was really good, actually. This was at the MCG. We don't play many home games at the G, but this is when we played for the 50th anniversary for the 50th anniversary for the Premiership against Collingwood. Yeah, and this is when we never really beat the Pies. I reckon we had like a 6-7 game losing streak against them. The last win would have been like 2011, or maybe even that other game in 2010. So for that reason, I'm going to probably put it into great. I'll put it into great though, because it didn't really overall mean much, but it was good to win against Collingwood. Fucking oath. The game where Malthouse and Stephen Milne had a fight and Nick Freo got injured out for 12 weeks. Not that game. It wouldn't have been this game. Which game are you talking about? Was it the... No, that Malthouse and Milne fight, I'm pretty sure was at the MCG. Or maybe that was Milne and Harry O'Brien. Smith is on fucking... No way we're already... Well, I was going to say, actually, it is 9 o'clock. Completely forgot about the game. I watched a bit yesterday. I'll have the scores up then. Potentially everyone's watching that right now. Let me check the scores. Kawaja 36, Head 21. Labuschagne 4. Man, he's out of form. Smith is going to get another 100. Awesome. Next up, we have 72-100. Collingwood in 2018. Yeah, this is already going in bad. It could go even lower than bad, potentially, but this is definitely going at least in the bad tier, even though it was a game in 2018. And I know Collingwood were really good in 2018. Made it to a granny. This is 2018, right? Where were Collingwood on the ladder? At the time, the Pies were not even in the 8. So that actually makes the loss even worse. I didn't even remember that. I thought Collingwood were started that year well. They didn't even fucking start the year well. It was half time. It was close. We're actually up by 1 and we just fell off a cliff. I felt really bad after that game because I thought we should have won that. We just had a shocking third quarter. I'm going to put that in awful, actually. Pretty bad. Well, who do we play next? Like, who do we play next in the test? Like, what's our next test match against? Is it the World Cup final? Actually, couldn't you go to that game, Will, theoretically? If you're in England, you should go to that if you can. Because that's going to be in England. Is it? You should go. It's not you could go. You should fucking go. Why wouldn't you go to that? Like that, you can't really have that. You can't really get that opportunity again. It'll be very rare to be in England whilst the Aussies are playing. You're going to obviously make it probably hard to get a ticket, but you should go. How many more games do we have? Okay. Well, not that many. I don't know how hard it would be to get tickets, and it'd be expensive. But you don't go for every day. Just go for like maybe day 1 or 2. Oh, this ad. Piss off. I was never checking this fucking company out in ever. Fucking hell. It's gone. Yeah, Chappie's in. All right, let's just get through this. There's no point in even wasting any time. Might as well just get through this as quickly as I can so I can move on with what else I was doing. Next up, we have Saints v Collingwood, round 2 of the MCG. Yeah, this is going in great. Is it better than the GWS win? I don't know. Thursday night, Spuds game. Was this Spuds game? I think it was. It's definitely going into great. It could go up to unbelievable.
Is now a member. Solid.
It is solid because you're not a member on anyone else's channels. Cheers, Chappie. Let's put this in there. We all know how the game was. I don't need to go into detail because it was last year. All right. 101.93 Port Adelaide 2008. One of the rare Marvel Stadium games that the Saints were involved in against Port until we started playing them again. Before this game, fun fact, some random guy had 2 tickets in a really good spot. I think level 2. I don't think it was a corporate box, but it was definitely level 2. And it was this game. And I remember where we were when that happened. We were at walking to the game in the Docklands. And I can't tell you how I remember that because no photos of that ever even came from it at all. I just remember that. But I don't remember the game. But I could imagine the game would have been pretty good then if we won by 8 points. Port, were they good in 2008? Now, they made it granny in 2007, but I don't think they made the finals the next year. So I'm going to put it in good. Let's zoom out. Poor average that year. See, you've got a good memory to know that AFL legend. Well, the seats were an upgrade of whatever seats we had, and I think level 2 were the seats. Now, I can't tell you where exactly, but I think it was somewhere on the wing, maybe. No way they were terrible in 2008. It's not that hard to believe, especially after the game in 2007 where they got absolutely smashed. Teams tend to have poor years the year after. Where did they finish the Power? Big fall from grace. That really would have affected them because it would have been a pretty similar side. But like, it's not that hard to believe a side finishing in a granny and then not making finals next year. Even with the recent winners. Collingwood last year, Geelong the year before. Who won the flag in 2021? Melbourne. I mean, they didn't win a final the next year. Richmond didn't make it the next year. So there's no guarantee Brisbane are going to do it this year. All right, this was a Friday night game. We were going really well at this time, actually. Thought we were going to win. Port were... they were okay, but that was before they went on their... Well, this is like at the start of their winning streak. They really big one. I think they won 11 or 12 games in a row. I don't really know why I went to this game, and I don't know why Mark sat with us. He really pissed me off in that last quarter. Jimbo was there as well, but it was... it wasn't a bad game. I'm not going to put in awful because it didn't fuck the year up for us. It was a close loss, but it was an annoying loss. So I'm going to put that in bad. Geez, another 100-point win. Didn't even remember this game was a thing. Can't tell you what happened in this game. I can't tell you anything. Let's just put this one in good. It would have probably been higher, actually. 103-point win. Massive. Just going to leave that there, though. That was your birthday. Yeah. When would that have been? End of April, sometime in... So we've got a similar... We've both share a birthday in April. Something about St Kilda fans. I know a few St Kilda fans that have birthdays in April now. I know like 4. Next up, we have Saints v Richmond in 2017. I'm going to put this one in unbelievable. It was about as good as it gets. Now, some were saying this game was the reason we maybe regressed because we thought we were a lot better than what we were because we beat Richmond that year that won the flag by a massive amount. And the scores at half-time one of the craziest scorelines I've ever actually witnessed live. We definitely weren't even favourites heading into this game because Richmond, I know they were like just ahead of us on the ladder. They were top 4 though. That's the thing, right? It was 92-10 at half time. That's, if there's ever a scoreline 92-10 in recent St Kilda memory, we're the side on 10. Now, we didn't win by as much as we could have won, but it didn't really matter. This would have been Matty's match as well. Yeah, well, this is definitely going to go up pretty high. I've got that an unbelievable for that reason. The game in itself was unbelievable. Now, next up, we have 117 to 100. Yeah, no, I'm not going to be able to remember that one. Let's try and see if I can look it up. Yes, obviously I saw it, Will. But I don't mind you putting that in chat, actually, because it talks... We get another discussion going, but I did see it. And people like saying he deserves the injury. I don't get why people say that at all. Why wish injury upon any player? It's fucking dumb. Yeah, this is the game. Let's see what actually happened in it. Was it close?
The Saints.
I mean, it was high scoring. It was actually close. It was close. It was close the whole game until the last quarter. I'm just going to put it in good as well. It was the year after this game. 57 to 111. I think this was the game where Jack Stephen kicked that goal from midair. Let's just quickly have a look. We would have been down by a lot more than a half time. Who wished an injury to him? I don't know who it was. Some idiot on Instagram. Mate, I'm surprised you haven't been doing that yourself. You always give him shit. Yeah, look at that. Scoreline was similar to the scoreline in 2017. It was 15 to 73. So not as bad, but it was still pretty bad. Kind of came back as well in the second half. I think the Saints won the last quarter. The Saints actually won 2 quarters with Richmond. It was Matty's match. I went this. I think this was on a Friday as well, actually. And I went with my mum. I'm not sure why I did, because I don't go to very many games with just her. Might be the last time that actually has been the case. Maybe apart from 1 or 2. But yeah, obviously Richmond were the best team that year, and we were the worst team just about. So yeah, awful. Can't really say much more about that. This game was really good. Now, speak of Max King, Will, this game he fucking absolutely... He had one of the most standout performances from a key forward in the last 10 years. Not just for King. Let me go and bring that game up. Now, obviously he's an inconsistent player, but this is what Max King's capable of. Nah, no photo of that game. King, I don't know, did he kick 4? He kicked 4 or 5, but he had a really quiet... So this is weird, though. This is when he would only show up in the last quarter, or he'd have his best moments in the last quarter. He had a period where he would just dominate in the last. Look at this. So the scores were 74 to 78. Can I actually show that why? Maybe not. I don't want it full screen, so let's just do this. You can't see the scores, but they're 74 to 78. But the whole point isn't the scores; it's to see King. So he marked that one between his freaking legs. They haven't showed every bit. He didn't even show him kicking the goal there. So that's straight away. He definitely kicked another one. I'm pretty sure he kicked either 3 or 4. Yeah, he took everything. The defenders had no match for him. He was just way too tall. There's another one. 3 goals. 7 in a row as well. And there's another one. He kicked 4 in a row there. 4 goals in half a quarter. Mate, at this time I thought he was going to be the best fucking forward in the comp. Hasn't really shown that as often. Too inconsistent, and he's too injury prone as well. There was another moment as well. I don't think they showed in the highlights where he took another really good mark. But this game was really good. And Richmond went a bad side in 2022 as well. But it was a really good game. So I'm going to have it here. Chris and Sarah conveniently joined at the same time. Good in one game, then does nothing the next. Yeah, we need to see more of that. And I think he kicked 6 goals against Adelaide. That was probably his best game he's played. He did a similar thing in that game as well. We just need to see more of it. So, yeah, they've signed him on for fucking however many years, so it better happen. Seems like he's pretty committed, though, at least. This game, I can't remember. So I just put him bad. I'm not going to even go through it. Who knows what happened in this game. 2012. 103 to 136. North were alright in 2012. They made finals. I'm pretty sure they made finals. I think they finished 8th. So we finished 9th. They finished 8th. So similar. I remember before this game, actually, I had a Toy World gift voucher. And I didn't use it. So I got it for my birthday. I waited for some reason to use it. And we went to Docklands. We went to this place. I'm really going on a stupid tangent here, but we went to this like play center they had in the Docklands. That was a really fun fucking place back in the day. Nostalgic. Had a few birthday parties there as well, or my sister did at least. And then afterwards went to the Toy World. I got myself 10 packs of Team Coach. Remember that as a memory for this game. Had nothing to do with the game, though. The game was obviously a pretty bad one. We lost, so I'm going to have to put in bad. All right, Gold Coast Saints 2012. Oh, I think I forgot to put another Gold Coast Saints game, actually. Yeah, I think I may have forgotten to add a couple of games to this tier list, but you know what? I'm not going to go back now. There's no point. Well, I have a feeling someone ended their stream then. It doesn't matter, though. This game was the first game that I actually went to involving Gold Coast, funnily enough. Not funny. That wasn't funny. I guess when you win by that much, even if it's against Gold Coast, I'm going to put it in... Nah, I'm going to put it in good. Gold Coast were last that year, just about. GWS were. All right, next up, Saints v Gold Coast in 2013. Don't know much about this game. We won by 46 points. Let's just put it there. This game was shit. This game was really shit, actually, because we had bus replacements for this one, so the experience to the game was bad. We had to get off at like 3 different stations. I remember getting off at Box Hill and waiting 40 minutes for a train, almost getting to the game late. I think it was like a 40-point margin at halftime. I can almost guarantee I've got a good memory for this game for some reason. I remember this was the first game I went to footy after moving house as well, because we would have moved house over this round, and this game actually occurred. So we moved on the Saturday, and we didn't have a fucking TV for the first 5 days, and for some reason I decided not to go to this game, even though like it was, who cares if it was a school night? Maybe because it was after this is the first day of school, and we had to listen to this game on the fucking radio. So that wasn't great, because at the time there's no other way of watching. There wasn't a KO, there wasn't anything. So this was the first game, and it was bad. Yeah, we were down by... How much were we down by at halftime against Gold Coast? 57 points. That's terrible. How can we be down by 57 against the Suns? Now, we made a small fight back, but I'm going to put it in awful. Bus replacements and a loss might be the single worst experience in human history, especially when you don't know what's going to happen until it happens. That's another reason why this game's so far down, because this is also a bus replacements game where we lost by 105. Yeah, I do remember some other bus replacements games. There'd be a few more on this list probably. Saints v Gold Coast in 2022. Decent game. It was a pretty boring one though. It was round 6. We were 5 wins in a row after this one actually. I know UK was in Melbourne. Righto was there. I think I sat with both of them, but apart from that, fucking nothing happened in this game. It wasn't really that exciting. We won. It was actually the first game the knock chick. I'm pretty sure that, you know that knock chick, everyone bloody thinks she's a fucking bitch, even though I don't have a problem with her, but everyone thinks she's annoying. I'm pretty sure this was the game, the first one. And I don't know why I remember it being this one, but I just do. I'm going to put it in good, because it was still good, but it can't be too high. How much longer do the buses take? Can take up to 45 minutes to an hour. Sometimes not so much. Maybe 30 minutes, 20 minutes if you're very lucky, but probably only... No, actually, definitely more than 30, because you got to wait for the buses, and because of how packed it is as well. If it's just a regular day, then it wouldn't be that big of a deal as much, because it wouldn't be as packed. How much more do we have, by the way, for those wondering? Not too much more. And after this stream, or after we're done, I'm done. I've got other stuff to do. There's no point in continuing. I honestly thought this stream would pick up... I guess either I picked the wrong time, or people just didn't really care for this idea and concept. Because I actually don't think it was... I actually kind of feel like this is sort of interesting. But people have short attention spans. I tell you what, a lot of people just don't seem to give a crap. Saints Sydney, round 1. What did I think of this game? Not a lot. Not a lot, because I can't remember much. Let's just put in good. It was the first win of that year. We went on a streak of 20 wins in a row. Or 19 wins in a row. The first 19 games. And Sydney in 2009. Now, it's hard to remember in 2009 if teams are good or not, because I just remember the Saints being that much better than anyone else. Even if a team was in the top 4, it was the equivalent of the team really being in the bottom 4 with how dominant they were. Maybe because the cricket's on. Yeah, maybe. Didn't even realise the cricket was on. I don't think it would have made much of a difference, though. Like, I should probably be getting more than 38. And he did score 100. Nice. But it's alright, because it's still Feb, so once March rolls around, the streams will definitely go a lot better. What did Nick say? I think maybe putting in part 2... Maybe. I don't know. A lot of factors. I probably fucking picked the wrong time to stream as well. It's disappointing though. I can't lie, it is disappointing. Because even in the last stream, it didn't go amazing, but we had double the amount. Anna started later, and it was a bad time as well. All right, next up, St Kilda Sydney 2011. This is the final. This is the only final I've ever been to at Marvel. This is probably the only final that the Saints have played at Marvel. They don't play games at Marvel. Like, it goes to show, I mean, 2023, sorry. Well, 2020 was COVID year. 2023, we played the Giants. We probably should have played them at Marvel, to be honest. I don't really know why we played them at the G, even though it was a final. Like, if you're going to play a team in a final at home as a Marvel-based side, it's Giants or Gold Coast. Because if Geelong played the Giants or Gold Coast, they'd have that game at GMHBA. Do you wish they had finals at Marvel? Not really, but I feel like this game... I don't know why this game wasn't at the G, actually. Maybe there was another MCG game on that day. That might be why. They probably could have had the Marvel game in 2023 as well, because they had 2 games already. It wasn't like that was the only Melbourne game. It would have been very fair enough if it was the only game played in Vic, or like one of 2. Kind of like the elim between Hawthorn and Bulldogs, but that was never going to be at Marvel. It was a bit of an unfair advantage to the Hawks, but still, that was never going to be a marble. But yeah, awful. I remember we should have won that game. Like, heading into it, it was a home final. Pretty pissed about the loss. I think actually that game left 5-10 minutes early as well. 68,000 people showed up. Oh no, it was still a pretty good crowd. Yet people still wanted to give the crowd shit, even though like 68,000 people for a St Kilda GWS game, you're not going to get that again. This was a good game. This was a really good game, actually. I think we beat a side that finished... Did they finish first that year? They finished top. They won the flag. It doesn't matter. You beat a premiership winning side. You're putting it into great. No matter how you spin it. Leo, I would prefer you to stay on the stream, actually. If you stay on the stream for 5 minutes and chat and engage, then I'll mention you. Technically, I've done a mention, but I'd stay at least for 5 minutes. It'd be good. Like, what's the point of joining and then leaving straight away just for a mention? You're not going to get much of a mention on this stream. It's done fucking terribly. I can't lie. I've got to move on, though. Next up, we have 2015. Oh, this game, yes. This is a terrible game. This is, I think, the last game of the year. And we almost got done by 100. I know it really didn't mean much. And I know I'm pretty sure the week before that game, we lost against the Eagles. Or this could have been round 22. It might have been round 22. No, not to be fair. It doesn't matter. There still should be more people on the stream. I don't care if the cricket's on. There still should be more. This is the last time I'll mention it because I don't really want to complain anymore. It doesn't... No, to be fair, there should be more in. No matter how you want to spin it. Yeah, this was round 22. I was right. Yeah, and on the week after, look at that, losing by 95. So not the greatest finish of the year. I think the percentage went from 85 to 78. Somehow didn't go down a ladder position. Or no, we went down one. Gonna put this one on awful. No games in best and no games of disaster yet. I'm not sure if we'll get one. Maybe we'll pick one at least to do so. To anyone in chat who applied for KO Call, I know who's in the shortlist, by the way. I know who's in the shortlist. I'm not going to say who because I probably don't think I'm allowed to, but no one in the chat would be. I don't even think anyone in the chat would have applied. I should have applied. Knowing who was in the shortlist, I actually reckon I would have made it to the shortlist. So I regret not applying because I thought it was just going to be a waste of time. Like, oh yeah, there's going to be thousands of people. I'm not going to get a chance. I would have had a chance, I reckon. You applied, but you knew you were going to not. But okay, if you applied, don't half... What's the point of half-assing it? Then you're obviously not going to win. You've got to actually put it... Like, the best effort you could possibly put into trying to win the whole thing. To at least... Even if you don't win, at least you've given yourself your best crack. They had... I won't say... Actually, I can't really say what happened, but I was told by someone who did make the shortlist how the process went. So they're going to find out, I think, next Monday who's going to win. And that is the Monday I leave to Bali. By the way, I have absolutely fucked myself over in terms of preparing. I've got like 4 vids I need to film. Plus other stuff, obviously. Like I need to buy documents I got to get. Figure out SIM card, internet if I want that. And I've got to do all that all on the weekend. So that's probably going to have to happen tomorrow. So that's why I'm not doing any overnights, if anyone's wondering. What would the point of that be? If I got a donation of like 1,000, then yeah, okay, I'll do that. Because fuck me, I'll take the money. But nah, otherwise, no. Saints v Sydney. This is a period where every single game... Look at that. Saints v Sydney, lost by 97. Saints by Sydney, lost by 70. Saints by Sydney, lost by 70. How's footy training? Yeah, pretty good, actually. It was actually good. Yeah, I decided I'd go because I want to play Div 12 Resi's footy this year, and I think I will, most likely. So, yeah, that was good. Apparently, it was like one of the hardest sessions that they're ever going to do because we trained with the ones, we trained with the senior side, But like, I'm not going to lie, the skill level of the ones wasn't even that great. Maybe the Div 12 Resi skill level really dragged down the quality, but I'd argue I was like top 10 in terms of skills, and it was my first session back in fucking 6 years. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know, but so I don't think it's going to be that hard. I don't want to go into it thinking it's going to be easy, though, because it probably won't be. 2016, let's have a look. So, yeah, this game lost by 70 points. I'm trying to remember if this was... I don't remember this game being on a round 21 game, though. So I'm going to have to quickly have a look to refresh my memory. Yeah, Henchy probably will have games. Definitely play games. I don't know if he'll play a full season. Oh, no, this is Saturday. No, wait. No, yeah, I do remember this game. Yeah, relatively close by half time. I don't know what happened, but we just shut the bed. Conceded 8 goals in that third quarter, and then conceded 4 goals. We scored 4 to Sydney's 15. Yeah, and we still could have made finals as well, actually. So that's a disaster of a game. We could, if we won that game, I reckon we probably would have made finals as well. So it meant something. I'm sure we'll get a game together as long as you come down in Melbourne and play when I'm not interstate, because that's probably going to be the only time I don't play if I do have a year. Shut up, Scoops. Make an effort. At least I made an effort. Have you made an effort? Head down to a training session then. St Kilda v Sydney 2018. This was even worse. Yeah, this game we conceded 9 goals in the first quarter. Let me bring up the highlights just to show you how pissed off I was. I'm not just going to rock up. Yeah, you probably shouldn't do that, to be honest. I don't know what they would think if you just did that, but I'm just saying. You can't expect everything to be handed to you on a platter. See, I don't think they would say no if you were like, hey, if you message them saying, hey, I'd like to just have a training session. I don't think he's going to say no. But it's whether or not you want to make the effort of going. No, we didn't have more inside 50s that game. Look at the first quarter. Look at this shit.
Into the ball, picks it up happily and then just sits a high one up, and there are numbers here for the Swannies. Ground level, Parker gets a handball back to Big Sinclair. They've got their second.
Well, if we had inside 50s, it would have been back in the day where we constantly kicked the... We'd bomb, like the Alan Richardson game plan, we'd bomb it inside 50 and a defender would get it every single time. We would never look. So that would be maybe why. But the first quarter, we certainly didn't have more inside 50s. I'm not going to look at the stats. Yeah, look how dead the crowd was. A lot of fans left this game at quarter time. You don't normally see that.
Getting a contested footy smashing here. The Saints,
well, obviously,
who are as good at it as any in the comp.
Sydney were a pretty decent side in 2018. We finished like 16th. I didn't expect a win, but I didn't expect to see this.
It is raining goals.
And 7
Look
unanswered
at
goals.
this. I'm pretty sure they kicked 9 in a row. And 9 straight just about. Look how easy that is.
It's going to get worse here. This is a car crash at the moment for St Kilda.
Well, I assume you probably support the Swans then, wooden spoon data.
No real pressure, and again,
there's no pressure.
A handball. Kennedy stubbed his toe. It looked like no problem.
Like, look, there's just no pressure.
Not good enough. Zach Jones
Marked it uncontested and just played on.
That is 9 straight to the Swans. Wow.
Now, who cares about the rest of the game? But that was what I remember of the game.
Inside.
We did get a goal that quarter, funnily enough. Where do I put that? I think you got to put that in awful as well. It's not as bad as the this one because it meant more that game, and we were a chance at halftime as well. But this is worse than the Brisbane game. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to put it there. Disaster. Got to have one. Well, we don't know which one yet. It's not quite a disaster because I still actually think this game was worse given the circumstances. All right, the 2005 preliminary final where we probably might have been up actually at one stage. I don't know if we were, but this was to go on obviously to the grand final. Probably would have beaten West Coast if we did. Again, I don't remember this game much because this was obviously back in 2005. But so we played this. Yeah, we were fucking up at heart. I swear Saints have had so many chances against Port Adelaide. What happened if Fraser Garrick didn't kick his 100th goal? What if they didn't run on the ground? What if we held on here? What if in the Saints v Adelaide grand final, because we were up as well, we were really inaccurate. What if the Stephen Mill bounced correctly? What if the Scarlet Toe Poke didn't happen? How could we go from leading by 7 in a prelim to conceding 7 straight? I'm not having this in disaster. It was in 2005, but it has to go in awful, even though I don't remember the fucking game because I wasn't old enough to remember that. I wasn't old enough to remember, so I'm not going to have it that low. If I'm going to have a game in disaster, I need to actually have had the disaster experience. If that was a game in 2023, then or whatever, then obviously, yeah, probably would put that in disaster. 2007. Jesus, see, we're going back now. Again, I can't remember any game in 2007. Let's just put in good. Every single game so far has been a St Kilda game. Can we get to some more neutral ones? I think we're just on a stretch of St Kilda. St Kilda, St Kilda, St Kilda, St Kilda, St Kilda. Another St Kilda v Sydney, 2017. Again, another game at Marvel where we get smashed in. I think this is another Pride game or whatever they had back in the day. I don't think they still have. I don't know. Maybe they do. But not as bad. So we'll put it in the bad category. Richmond Saints at the MCG in 2011. This is actually a pretty good game of footy. But it was a draw. It was a draw at the MCG round 2. 2011 was a funny year, actually. If you look at 2011... This might be the only time this has been the case where the first game of the year or the first game of the round, a game in round 1, I should say, not the first game, you saw a draw, Melbourne Sydney. Then the next time in round 2 there was a draw, and then there wasn't one in round 3, but there was one in round 4. 3 draws in the first 4 rounds of the season. Has to be a record or something, especially for the AFL. Maybe the VFL. Maybe there was something different then. I was shell-shocked in 2011. Don't remember one match. Well, I remember this one. I remember the AFL playground was really fun back then at the MCG. I don't know why they got rid of it. It was so freaking cool. They had the inflatable where you had to kick the ball inside the little goal post or the little circle, the hole, I should say. And normally you do that, you get a free packet of footy cards. And they had it at Marvel, and they got rid of the... why did they get rid of it at Marvel and at the MCG? That just made, before the game, a lot more fun, particularly when you were a kid. So I don't know why they got rid of that. But I do remember they had a thing where they went around at halftime. Sometimes at halftime, but before the game. And it was like a quiz. So everyone was around in a circle, and a guy would stand in the middle, and he would ask random questions. And if you got it right, you could win a footy album. You could win a footy box. I remember that. I didn't win it. I was pissed because I almost did win it. But I remember this was before this game. The one at the MCG was nostalgic, and then that stopped being a thing. And then the MCG, Marvel, and that stopped being a thing. In fairness, though, I'm pretty sure I went to that in 20... I think the last year I would have probably done that was 2018. And I was too old for the AFL playground when I was 15, but I looked 9, so I got away with it. All right, I'm going to put this one in decent. It was a draw. I don't know where else to rank it. Give me some neutral games, please. Every game Saints. Where was this playground? Well, the one at the MCG, and I don't remember exactly, but it would have been probably... I can't remember what gate. But I think it would have been where they had the footy festival in a section around the grass. Can't remember specifically though. I'd have to look that one up. Marvel, they had it outside. I don't even remember the gate name. They had it. I can't remember the gate name, the Marvel one, but they had it outside. It was pretty close outside the ground. And I remember 2019 or whatever year it was, probably 2019. They just replaced with some corporate crap and they never brought it back. It was really annoying. They should bring it back. Even if they bring it back, like I'm not going to be going before the game or anything like that, but still. Saints v Richmond, 2012. I think Jack Rewalt kicked 8 goals in this game, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I feel like a game like this, like, yeah, you lose and all that, but Jesus would have been good for a neutral. I can't actually, no, I'm not going to put it, I'm going to put it in bad overall. Like, as a St Kilda fan, you can't really have it high. Top of bad, though, because it was close. Another game. This is, I think, a game as well at the MCG. How do you know every single game you've been to? Because I go through the season and I just have a decent memory. I don't remember every single game. I don't remember every game. Like before 2007. Because 2007, right? 2008, 2009. Every game I went to, I bought a footy record for. So I went through the collection. I went through every game with a footy record so I could know which games. Doesn't mean I remember what happened in the games. 2006, though, couldn't tell you. That's why I haven't put many games in, because it's just like the games that I know for a fact I went to, but I definitely went to more than like 4 or 5. So yeah, this game I'm going to have in bad as well. Let's just get through quickly now. I'm only going to go through the games I remember in detail. It doesn't really matter too much. I want to get through some neutral ones, so I don't know if we're going to get many more neutral games. Okay, this game was really shit. I'm going to put this one in awful. I actually had this in my top 10 worst games video because like it was raining. It was a Sunday night, 4:40. It's always the worst feeling when you've got bloody school the next day, back in the day, and you know, you lost in footy and you're going back home in the wet. Why did I bring a Richmond jumper to this game? I had like a black and yellow jumper. Thought I'd be able to sit in the cheer squad. Got kicked out. So yeah, gonna have to go on awful. Nothing about that game was great. At the MC, was this at the MC? No, that might not have been the game then. Hold up a second. That game would have been at Marvel then. Did I already rank this game in the other video? Now, I know it doesn't matter, but I want to get this one right. Let's confirm then. 2014. In round 15. No, it was in 2014 though. No, fuck, that was at Marvel. Well, then I don't remember that game. That wasn't the game then. I don't know, just put it here then. I have no idea about what happened in that game. I went into so much detail over something that never even happened. Why wouldn't they let you sit in the cheer squad? I'll tell you why. Because I had a St Kilda jumper over the top of my local footy team were the Tigers. So we had like yellow and black. Don't know why I wore it for a Richmond game, but I had it on in the like underneath. So obviously you're not allowed opposition colours in the cheer squad. It made sense, but it was still like, yeah, they could have gone about it in a better way. They were a bit rude about it. That actually fucking annoyed me the way they went about it. Because I was like a kid, so it wasn't like I was an adult being a dickhead. I just sat in there, and they kicked me out straight away. Just about. All right, next game. This was 2015. I remember after this game, I actually was pretty happy with the result, even though we lost. Like, I was happy with the result because we were average. Richmond were right. What round was that? Round 16. Carey Tunn. Probably would have been a better idea just watching the cricket, to be honest, but too late. 46,000 went to this one. But that last quarter, we kicked 39-3. We were down by 52. And I think Mav Weller kicked a goal. And we almost
almost came back and won. So, yeah, I definitely didn't feel as bad after this game. I'm actually going to put this one in decent. The best loss, I reckon, of the whole video. Or the whole stream, whatever you want to call it. Next up, we have in 2010. Yeah, 2010. Saints v Richmond. Brendan Goddard took one of the great marks you'll ever see. And I'm going to bring that game up. That was the first Matty's match. Good input there, because that is true. And I wouldn't have remembered that. Well, I do remember that, but I wouldn't have mentioned that. I think they wore a purple... either they wore a purple back, or they wore a purple stripe instead of the red one.
In between two Justin Kosicki goals.
And that from just inside the 50 makes it 3. It's goal for goal at Etihad Stadium.
Yeah, look at this, Mark.
Something inspirational from Brendan Goddard.
But the thing that pissed me off, this was on a Saturday. Interesting, right? Round 21. At the time, that was the best mark of the year. And then, I remember vividly this. This was so long ago, but I still remember this. The next day, Melbourne played Port Adelaide. Yep. Melbourne played Port Adelaide. And I was watching this on TV, and I watched the fucking Liam Jarrah take the mark of the year live. The next day. I haven't been alive. Think about it. St Kilda are like the one team where they haven't gotten a goal or mark of the year in the last 25 years. There has not been a single St Kilda mark or goal of the year in 25 years. That would have been the first one that I would have been alive for, and it didn't even happen because of this shit.
No, it's not Scully, it's Maloney who got up with it in the end. He thumps it long. Jarrah!
Now, that was probably a better mark, but at the time I was biased and I said, no, that won't win mark of the year. And it fucking did, and it pissed me off a little bit. And let's be real, Liam Jarrah, he wasted talent, to say the least. That was a good match. Sad to see Matty's match is gone now. Yeah, I mean, it probably isn't a sort of a game that will last forever. It will probably eventually was going to come to an end, I guess, with the two Rewalts both retiring. But, yeah, it could still continue, I don't know, in some way. They do still get the Matty. They have the Matty's Vision charities before that game anyway, so they still raise funds. I'm going to have this one in good. Saints v Gold Coast round 1 2019 was the last St Kilda game I believe I went to with the roof open. He was one of the great talents that just got wasted with crime and a lot of other bad stuff. 2019, first game, we went 4-5 to start off the round, or the year. Gus copying your stream. Okay, is he? Give me a second, let me have a look. That's not really copying. That's something different, but it's not original. It's whatever. Who cares about that? Yeah, Gold Coast in 2019, they were terrible. They won 2 or 3 games. They started the season off actually with 3 wins from 5 games. They didn't win another game for the rest of the year. Remember the Caden parody actually. The Gold Coast Suns can't win a game. Yeah, basically they couldn't win a game. I'm going to have them been good. A good game, but nothing too special because, you know, the Suns were pretty shit. It was a 1-point win, though. Surely you got a mark of the year in 2010. What? No, that wasn't 2010. If we're talking about the Jeremy Howe mark against Sydney at the SCG, that was in 2012. You know, Jeremy Howe deserves probably 4 or 5 mark of the years. He's only had 2, I think, or actually maybe only the 1. Definitely deserves more than that though. Saints v Brisbane 2023 on a Friday night, and man, we were terrible from the word go. I think this is deserving of going awful. A shithouse performance. This was the first time I met Egg Footy, I think. And I was at this game with Crouchy, but apart from that was just a shit game. I think it's only 1, surprisingly. Yeah, so definitely deserves at least 3 or 4. In years where he's taken really good marks, I think he took a really good mark against Port Adelaide, but that was also in 2012. But he should have won it over Danaher in 2017. Like, he doesn't take marks as often or as spectacular as a Collingwood player, but as a player, he's a better player than what he was at Melbourne, but he was more of an exciting high flyer at the Ds. Round 8, 2019 against West Coast. Recent, actually. Recent-ish, but I don't remember a lot about this game at all, weirdly enough, even though this was in 2019. Saturday night. Oh, yeah, I kind of do remember this game a little bit. We kind of never really had a chance at three-quarter time. And we kicked the last 2 goals of the game, I think. Oh, no, we made it a 2-goal margin. I do not remember the fact that it was 2 goals, but then Darling kicked a late one. I don't know, probably just bad. Saints v Brisbane 2016 was a really, really good game. Before the game, as I was talking about before, the AFL Playground won an album. That was cool. They had the roof open for this one, and we completely smashed the Lions with a massive score of 161. And Nick Rewalt had an absolute day out. Best game he's probably ever played, kicking 9 goals. He had over 20 marks. 200 fantasy, I think, almost. Yeah, absolutely dominated. This is going into great. In fact, no, this is going into unbelievable. Unbelievable. 200 fantasy points, I'm pretty sure. You're not going to see that again. Or you might, actually. But you haven't seen that probably since. You need a player to kick like 12 goals and have like 25 touches and a heap of marks for that to happen again. 75 to 63. Yeah, this is a pretty shit game, actually. I remember this game. It was quite recent. This was around the time when we just dropped off and formed badly. We were in horrendous form in 2022. But we were still a finals chance, and we had to win this game against West Coast beforehand and then Hawthorn. But we only just won. If this game went on another 5-10 minutes, we would have lost. And after the game, I had no... I wasn't feeling good at all. I didn't feel proud about the win. I wasn't feeling happy. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, Hawthorn kicked 5 goals, the last 5 of the game. We're up by 42. It looked like, okay, we should breeze home and win maybe by 8 or 9. Maybe score 100. It's just a bad game of footy overall. I can't really have this. I mean, it's boring, but we won. We put an average. Probably the worst win apart from this one. Was 2019 your last good year? West Coast. Was this for West Coast? Why are you saying your last good year? I don't go for West Coast. 2020 was the last year they made finals. Robertson and Howe didn't cross over. When did Howe start? He started in like 2011, I think. Maybe 2010. Robertson retired in 2008 or 9 is my guess. Imagine both of them playing. This game, first neutral game and probably the best game of the lot so far. In terms of the game, it's probably a best of the best. Like, it wasn't the best final of the whole final series, I don't think. But like at the Adelaide Oval, really close. Hawthorn made that fight back. Atmosphere was awesome. Yeah, couldn't really have wished for much better, honestly, when I booked tickets to that game to go to Adelaide, because you want to go to a really good game if you're going to go interstate, and I definitely went to a good one, so it was worth it. This is going to go an awful as well. Round 17, 2022. This was one of the worst umpired games I reckon I've ever been to, so if anyone doesn't remember, let me just bring this fucking shit up. I thought we already went through the Freo games. I'm not sure why we have another from Freo game coming up. Maybe I had the... because it's in alphabetical order, so I probably just had the title as something a little bit different. So, we made a bit of a fight back in the third quarter.
Pay the ultimate price, you think, to the goal line. Fremantle can do no
we
wrong.
didn't.
Facial kicks his first.
So, Freo up by 5 goals.
He's going to gain a couple of metres and then loads up. Good-looking attempt.
But then we just randomly kicked a few. Let me have a look. Wood kicked one.
Volley. Wood was well tackled.
So, okay, we
Bundy.
weren't really
They go back the
that
other
close.
way.
But look at that. That's holding the
Down.
ball.
Butler ran him down.
But then they paid that hole in the ball. And the umpires already were really bad at the time. And then Butler got angry, obviously, and then they paid 50. And that completely changed momentum of the game because Frederick kicked a goal, and then Freo just went on a rampage. It was pretty shit, actually. Pretty bad. We would have lost anyways, but it was pretty bad. Awful game. Probably almost worse than the game in 2024, because at least for this game, we actually started off well at half-time. We actually should have been up by more. So, yeah, big waste. Not sure why I've been asked about Cardi B. Maybe similar name. Cardi B's a fuckwit. Don't like her. Next up, we have St Kilda v North Melbourne. Okay, well, it was a good... We went into the top 4 after this game, I'm pretty sure. I think we were like 2nd or 3rd. North were bad. I think this is a period where they lost like 10 games in a row by 50 points or something. Let's just have them like good. It was a good game. Nothing more, nothing less. And I have this one again. Don't know why I have this one twice, so we'll skip that. No, we can't skip that. I guess we're just going to have to put that in again. Just because I don't want to... I want the bottom left to show the next game. What Port Saints game? There were 2. Both games we lost. Yeah, after this, I reckon I'll put the cricket on. When did the game start? I probably will only get to watch like 10 overs though. How many more games we got? We got not many, so let's just race through these. Saints Richmond 2023. I put this one in good. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't anything too special because we played Richmond, but it was this year. Start at 3. So it'll finish at 11, I think. Saints v Gold Coast, another game in 2024. I don't know, like, it wasn't a great game of footy, let's be honest, but we won by 3 in a thriller. And it was just relief. It was relief. Can I put it in great, though? I don't think it deserves to go in great. Let's put it also in good. But it was actually a pretty good atmosphere for the game, despite only kicking like 7 goals, 7 goals. 6 goals, probably. I reckon we only kicked 6 goals and won. All 29 as well. Round 4, 2014. This was just a shit game in general, because I remember beforehand, we lost... So you can look, 86-point loss. Before this game... Our only other loss of the year, because we were 2-1, I think. We lost by like... Or did we start the year 3-0? No, we wouldn't have started 3-0. Yeah, that wasn't all 29. You were there, Chris, actually. Should have mentioned that. I'm trying to remember the 2014 season. Let me just bring it up really quickly, just because I want to know. It'll play with me if I don't bring it up. I know we beat Melbourne, and then we beat GWS. Oh, we lost to West Coast away. And then we got smashed against Adelaide at home. And Adelaide in 2014 didn't even make the final. So I don't know how we got smashed by that much. This was basically the start of the realization that we're going to be really, really bad again in 2014. And before the game, my dad took the wrong turn. And I think we got to the game late. He was so angry in the car before the game because he took the wrong turn to exit, heading to like Docklands or wherever the ground was, and he almost ended up in fucking Geelong, the idiot. So kind of funny. He's done that a couple times before. Now, if you've ever driven in Melbourne, you would know how confusing it is sometimes when you want to take exits and all that, heading to like the airport. I remember once, a funny story. We were supposed to drop off my grandma from Mexico at the airport. This is a completely another random time. We were already running a little bit late. Put it in bad. I might put it lower than bad, maybe. We were already running late, and my dad took the wrong turn and almost ended up in Geelong. We almost made her miss the fucking flight. And it was an international flight as well, so you have to get to the airport early. No, actually, that's right. Normally, when I go to the airport nowadays, I just give myself maybe 30, 40 minutes, but I don't give myself much time because it's always like, who cares? But you've got to get there like 2 hours early. So that means that, yeah, that's what's going to have to happen on Monday. I'm going to put an awful. Not a disaster. It's 2014, so Awful, though. But I don't really think I cared that much when we lost for some reason. I don't know. It was kind of like this game. I just didn't care that much. Which one was it? Yeah, this one. Okay, this one was bad. Arguably worse. Arguably worse. Needed to win this game to still be in hunt for finals. Max King kicked 0 goals 5 or 0 goals 6. I dropped my $160 footy in the Yarra River after the game. And I can't think of a good thing that came from this game at all. Basically fucked up our season after this one when we lost. Worse than the Saints Hawthorn game for all reasons. Yeah, okay, we lost by 15. But I think that's more fitting to be put into disaster than the Saints Adelaide game. And the fact that I lost the footy tops it off. Cherry on the cake, yeah. Putting it in disaster for sure. Next up, we have in 2019, St Kilda v Brisbane. Oh, this was the first ever game I vlogged. Let's bring up the first ever game I vlogged real quick. Yes, some people remember that. AL remembers that. I would go on the Yarra for a ball. Not in the moment. I was with my parents or with my dad. I think we drove to the game as well, so we weren't going to fucking do that. I wasn't going to jump in the Yarra, and I don't even think there was a guarantee I would have gotten the footy as well. Late 2019. You watched this in 2019 as well. I'm not going to show much of this because it's kind of not worth it, but I'll just show you what the final scores were. I did have the scores up on the screen. I quickly found out that it wasn't really necessary for match day vlogs. You don't need the scores on the screen. Pretty hard to see the scores. So we were only down by 2 points from that position, but I'm pretty sure Brisbane in the third quarter somehow fucking analed us, and we were down by 70 at 3/4 time. It was only 2 points. How did we manage to get it to a 70-point margin? Anyway, let's just quickly see my review for the game. I bloody did match reviews after the game. Why?
So quite obviously I was disappointed with the result. We played pretty bad footy, second half, third quarter definitely. That just cost us the game. We were in it at half time, then it just blew out in the third quarter.
Kind of stating the obvious there. I'm going to provide an analysis about how bad we played, why it happened. We're just going to sit and moan like a wanker.
So very disappointing, but all in all, it was a good day.
How would it be a good day? Now, that might play into effect then. If it was overall a good day, what would I have done beforehand to make it? The game, I think, deserves to definitely go at least in bad. Doesn't mean I'm going to put it anywhere close to good just because I said it was a good day.
I also pulled the Jack Rewalt star in a few packs.
That shouldn't be a reason why. I pulled a star wild. Who gives?
I also pulled the Jack Rewalt star in a few packs, which was really good. And I'll be doing a winner margin comp.
All right, no one cares. Let's put this one in awful as well. I drove past Southland. That's why I checked through your channel. So if it wasn't for the fact that I drove past Southland, you might not be. You might not know who I am. You might not be watching the channel to this day. So the reason you watch my videos is because I drove past Southland. What's that got to do with anything? I know you live close to Southland. Were you just trying to stalk me where I lived, knowing that I live close to Southland? God, that's funny to see that you said that though. I'll just read the chat real quick. Wooden Spoon Data says $200 isn't enough for the Yarra. No, not in full close at 11 o'clock after a really bad game of footy. I just had to cop it. It was annoying though because I bought that footy that week. Why did I bring it to the game was honestly the main question. Not too sure. I shouldn't have brought it to the game in hindsight. Yeah, it is cool to have a vlog to look back on. That's the thing, right? Unless YouTube shuts down as a platform, in 20 years' time, people can look back at this and I can say to myself, hey, if I have kids or whatever, I can show them what the games are like in the 2020s, my experience. So I think that's cool. Even if I get nothing out of this in the long run, at least there's that to look back on. I remember your first vlog really well. I watched it around the time it came out. Yeah, because I know that you were still... I knew you back then because you were one of the top contributors. You still are 6 years later, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I know I looked young in that, even though it was in year 11. How did it get into the Yarra? I was bouncing it. Was it the Yarra? I'll show you exactly where it was that I dropped it. There was a video of it, but it was on a now terminated YouTube channel, which is still to this day unbelievable how it's been terminated, because it reckons I was stealing Cardman's content, yet it failed to understand that I was also Cardman making the channel. Tried to dispute it, nothing happened. So this is this is where Marvel was, and I was just walking out, and this is the Yarra River, and I bounced the ball. I was walking along here at night around 11 o'clock, whatever it was, and I would have bounced the ball maybe here, and I don't remember if it hit the pointy end of the ball and just bounced, trickled over to the Yarra, or if I kicked it accidentally, or if it hit my sister or something happened, and I went in the Yarra. And I remember I yelled as it happened, and probably in hindsight shouldn't have done this, but it was in the moment. It was like I yelled out "fuck" really loudly, and then 20 seconds later, a group of little kids and a dad went up to me and asked for a photo, and I'm almost certain they would have heard me yell the F word. So that helped me compose myself, because I wasn't just going to like rage in front of them. Funny story that though. Looks like a cool strip. Yeah, it's a good spot. I remember for the BBL Derby, the last one, I walked past this strip again. It's a bit nostalgic. This ice cream place is quite good. This is 2014 though, actually. I don't know why I can't see a newer date, but it's different now. I don't really think it looks as good. Wow, you were talking photos with subs at that age. No, that was not 2019. That was 2022. I think you probably were thinking I was talking about which game? This game. Which it would have made sense why, actually. I don't know why I was actually mentioning the Yarra. I think someone would have said something in the chat. No, it was the 2022 game. So I had, at that stage, like, how many subs? 13k. Oh, no, I would have had more than that. I would have had, like, over 20k, actually. So that would make more sense. Back in 2019, nah, not really think. Don't really think I had anyone take photos of me that year. In fact, no, I know for a fact I didn't. I think the first time was 2020. I was on a bike ride. No, it wasn't at the footy. I was on a bike ride just randomly, and I don't know how they spotted me. Next up, we have Geelong v Bulldogs in 2019. Did I not rank this game? I swear I ranked this game. No, I must not have ranked this game. I ranked another Geelong. I must have ranked it. No, I did rank this game. What the hell? Why do I have it again twice? We'll put it in decent then. I don't know how that slipped through the cracks. What the fuck? It's a non-St Kilda game as well. Saints v North 2017. It was a pretty good win. Season was over at this point, but it was still good to get a pretty comfortable win over an average side. So I'm going to put this one in good. Okay. This is going to be a hard one to rank. Do we put this one in disaster? Arguably. No, I haven't played Fortnite. I was maybe going to do a Fortnite stream tomorrow, but there's no time anymore for that. Not worth it. So, yeah, I guess I'll have a crack at the new season when I get back from Bali. I might do a members, more Cardman stream, whatever, the week after I come back. So, let's have a look quickly. This game, new season's all right. Are we talking about the OG season or just the regular new season? Okay, just before I put this in the tier that I want to put it in, let's just talk quickly about the game in itself. So, first time going to this ground, and I can't lie, it's one of the worst grounds I've ever been to AFL-wise. It is cool. It's cool because of how weird it is. They've got a canteen there. The surface was absolutely abhorrent. There was a hill on the wing, on one wing. So, I'm trying to remember. So, let me just look up the ground. I can't remember exactly, but on one end, like one wing, there was just grass. And there was a row of chairs on the wing, and I, for some reason, managed to snag a seat there, which is kind of cool. Now, on each end of the goals, I'm pretty sure there were temporary stands. They weren't actually proper built grandstands. No, I don't want fucking Kazali's house. Kazali's stadium. Okay, so there was the other wing had an actual grandstand, a proper grandstand. This side, you can see here, there's temporary seating. But that's the hill, and it was extremely poor conditions. Now, I don't know why they had a game in Cairns during this time, because it's still sort of the wet period. Every single day when I was there, it was wet, and it was no exception. The whole grassy area was muddy. It was really bad. So it smelled of mud. It was kind of like the local days. Food there was terrible. Worst food I've had at a stadium, probably, considering I've only been there once, so the average is going to be bad. And obviously the game was just crap. Like, 4 goals, 18 to 5 goals. What was the scoreline? So 42, 4 goals, 18 to 5 goals, 13. It almost didn't feel real. Like, it didn't feel like a real scoreline. I've never seen a game this low scoring at this point, ever. It was the most low scoring game. Like, the game was a thriller, but fuck, it was boring the first 3.5 quarters. And I'm pretty sure we kicked 3 goals to 0 to start the game. So I thought by then we would win to go 6-1. We lost by a point. Yeah, probably a disaster. So the only 2 games of disaster are games in 2022, but the whole game was just shit. Even if we won, that still wouldn't have been put up very high. Like, interstate wins are normally higher in the rankings, but that wouldn't have been that high. How long did it take to get there? Like, to Cairns or to the ground from where we were staying? Because from where we were staying, it wasn't really that far. It was like a 5-10 minute drive, but we actually ended up walking back home. It was a 45-minute... That's another thing. There was no way of getting back home because of how congested it was after the game. The area wasn't really a great area for footy. The roads and all that. Couldn't find an Uber. So it was either wait around for 30 minutes and hope, or just walk back. So we had to walk back. 40 minutes as well. Terrible. Only 9 ad breaks for... Yeah, Channel 7 wouldn't have been happy with that one. That was a shocker. The AFL... Exactly. I don't know how much lost revenue... Like, how much more money would the AFL have made if that was a game with... Well, I remember Gold Coast Geelong in 2024 in Darwin. By the way, chat, I have booked flights to Darwin for this year, so I'm going to a game in Darwin in 2025. I'm going with I'll show you which game it is after this, actually. It'll be a good one. But yeah, Gold Coast along that. 41 goals. How much more money would the AFL have made for a game with 41 goals as opposed to 9? How I don't even understand how that works with the ads and all that, but yeah, I'm sure they definitely made a lot more money. I don't know how it all works though. Well, I can't show you, but it is Hawthorn Gold Coast, and it will be a good one. It's on a Thursday. That'll be a really good game. 32 times however much dollars a goal break. Yeah, that would be the calculation. And I don't... How much is it? I don't know, because it'd be a fixed amount plus that. So it's not like it's just that. Who knows what the amount is? I'm not going to know. It might be different. Like, obviously, 30-second ads would cost more than 15-second ads. And potentially, there might be more expensive time slots. Like, what would you say the more expensive... If there were more expensive time slots throughout the game on a night game, what would be more expensive? Would it be the first quarter or the last quarter? Or half time? I don't know. Obviously, if it's a grand final, it'll be a lot more expensive because of more viewers. All right, next up we have Saints Carlton in 2016. I reckon I rank this game as well. I can't see it. If it's the game I'm thinking of, this was at Marvel, Roof Open. I think this was a crowd of over 48k. Let's confirm that. Round 12 and 20, is it 2016? Let's have a look real quick just to confirm that I was right. Yeah, look at that. Sunday Arvo, 48,000. What the hell? How do you get 48k to a game like that when two sides weren't even in the 8? No, that was a great game though. We absolutely dominated. Jack Stephen had a blinder. I'm pretty sure he had like 6-goal assists or something like that. Yeah, it did. How the fuck did I remember that? 6-goal assists in a game. And he had 25 and 3 to himself. I'm pretty sure he kicked the winner. He kicked a couple of winners. Yeah. I would probably almost have that in great. I'm going to put that in great. It was one of the better Carlton wins you've got to say. Wooden Spoon says, I've got a rough idea of lost revenue. It depends what you want to do. Ads aren't priced like that. You might know more than me. That last quarter of the Suns Cats game was 7 goals 1 to 7 goals 3. That was actually a really fun game to watch because, yeah, okay, sometimes if games are that high scoring, it might not be, for some people, not be as fun because the pressure. You want to see a high-intensity pressure game, and there wasn't really that in the last quarter, but you don't see 14-goal quarter in the AFL anymore, let alone like 10. Like, that was an insane last quarter in terms of how high scoring it was. It was a goal. It was just an absolute goal fest. It's fun to watch, though. UCAT and I went crazy. The flights are expensive. Yeah, so my mate booked a hotel. So I'll tell you what's happening, right? Or do I tell you later? I'll forget if I tell you later. I'll quickly say what's going to happen. So he booked a hotel for Tuesday. So I'm going to head up on the Tuesday to the Friday. So 3 nights. And the reason why I'm not staying any longer, I don't want to miss out on like whoever Saints are playing that week and whatnot. But yeah, 3. So we'll have like a few days to explore the NT, which is the whole point. I'm not going to want to go to the NT just for the fucking neutral game and then leave. I want to actually explore a little bit about it. Because I think it'll be pretty nice. Never been. Saints v Geelong in 2021. This is a bad game. Another game where I think Max King had a shocker. I think he kicked like 0 goals 5 again. He's had a few games where he's kicked 0 goals. Like a lot of points. Is this the UCAT neutral game? No, that's not the UCAT neutral game. That game I'm going with a guy that supports Hawthorn. He went to Tassie with me last year. He went to Adelaide with me. So I've been to a few in-state trips with him. And I was talking about maybe doing Darwin because I was going to consider going. And he's like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it. The game is probably going to be this one. Because I like to go to a neutral game with UCAT that isn't a St Kilda game. And I figured, well, why don't we do Perth but not actually Perth? And experience Bunbury. A local footy sort of vibe it would be. So yeah, that's probably the game. Well, we got to see if that's actually going to happen, but I'm almost certain that's going to be the game. He's almost locked that in. Yeah, Callum. What did Wooden Spoon Dad say? You generally buy a package of ad rolls, and when you buy a group slot, e.g. from 6 to 10 p.m, it costs like 30k for like 15 ad rolls. Yeah, that sounds about right. That would sound about right. So what? The AFL get more than, obviously, for more goals, as mentioned before. Or do they pay 30k for the ad rolls, and if they only get 9 goals in the game, they're the ones losing? They're the ones missing out? Is that the case? So maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe the advertisers want more goals so they can get more screen time for their ads for less price. Hawthorn kicked 10 goals, 4.25 last year. Yeah, against North. I was going to bring up Max King stats for this game, wasn't I? Swear every... Oh, no, this is 2021. One of the first... This is the first game I got... Okay, funny fact as well. Fun fact. First game since 2019 where I got to sit in my actual reserve member seats because level 3 wasn't open up until round 9 of that year. Interesting to point out. Max King, let's have a look. So, Max King behind. Max King behind. He kicked a goal that game. Oh, lovely. We were bloody 0 goals 9. I remember that. That was just pathetic. Should have won this game, by the way. Look at that. 3-12 to 4 goals 2. We got another behind through King. Another behind. Another behind. This is when the game was on the line. Kind of like against Brisbane. He just can't stand up in those big occasions. Awful game. Against the Cats as well. Friday night footy. Shocker. This is also a pretty bad game. Saints v Melbourne. I didn't know how good Melbourne were going to be that year. I was under the belief that Melbourne were going to be an okay side. Maybe sneak into the 8. And the Saints, well, I was optimistic we could have maybe been a top 4 team. But did not show up for Spud's game, which is unfortunate. And I'm going to put it in bad. Basically, both lose. AFL would have a general expectation for goals per match, and then what that means for ad rolls and doesn't make money, so the AFL makes less too. Yeah, okay, right. That makes a bit of sense. So you're saying the AFL loses, or 7 lose, or both, or the advertisers? Because like the AFL would also be making more, I would assume, for more goals. I would believe. Really enjoying this live. Thanks, Andy. Appreciate it. See, when we get chats that are engaging like this, like I don't really give a fuck about the viewers. It's more that if we have a low amount and we just have no one really paying any interest, that's when I'm a bit annoyed. But I don't really mind that much. You're probably right when someone said the cricket was on. It's whatever. Like I'm actually kind of enjoying this as well a little bit. Talking about games and all that. Next game. Got to actually keep note of the time, though. It's 10:33, and I haven't had dinner yet. St Kilda v Carlton. Let's just go through this one really quick. I can't remember this game. Let's just put in good. We won by 43. Would have been probably a good game. And this would... Oh, actually, no. This game, I remember watching a video on YouTube. It might not have been this game, but I think it would have been this game. It was a close one. Did anything major happen in this game? I wish we had, like, some older people in the chat that could remember 2008, because I can't remember this shit at all. Was close. I don't know. Maybe something happened. I can't remember though. All right, Saints v Essendon in 2024. One of the better games of 2024 that I've been to. And Sammy joins at the perfect time because I think this is the game I went to with him and gave him a lot of rubbish. Let's see. Where do I put this one? Probably great, to be honest. Why are you in Adelaide, Sammy? Swear you bloody go interstate more times in the off-season, the footy season. You've been to bloody Adelaide, Sydney twice in like 2 months. Fucking hell, you're going to be out of money. All right, this game I'm going to chuck in, yeah, probably just above the Saints v Sydney game. Because I didn't even think we were going to... I thought we were going to win, but not smash Essendon. Not smash Essendon. So definitely satisfying beating a team like the Bombers. Melbourne City played in Adelaide would be the only reason, wouldn't it? Yeah. Are you staying with Zay in Adelaide? I know this is probably something I should be asking off stream, but it doesn't really matter. If you are... Oh, you're not. Where are you staying then? Because I need to find some cheap accommodation for Adelaide from Sunday to Tuesday because I've already booked flights, so I have to get accommodation now. And I don't know anyone well enough living in Adelaide that I can stay with for 3 days. Jesus, don't tell me you're at Hanson Road Pizza because I'm hungry. In the city in a pretty good hotel. Yeah, but where though? Because I feel like you'd be the sort of guy that would want to save money on that sort of stuff. Bro, I need to figure out accommodation too. I'll send you a DM. If you want. I mean, I'm going to be going for the whole week. I've got accommodation from Wednesday, so that's okay. But Sunday to Tuesday, I'll have nowhere to stay. And you could think, well, why don't I just travel to... So let me show you the fixture real quick so it makes a bit more sense. Sorry. That was loud. Let's see. So Saints play Adelaide more times than I do play in Melbourne to start off the year. It's crazy. Yeah, so I already booked all this the other day. So I'm currently trying to just at least be very careful with my money over the next couple months now because I haven't got a lot. Because I've paid quite a bit of money for that and other stuff. And obviously the Bali trip. But Port Adelaide Saints play on Sunday. So I'm going to head up Sunday morning. Then I need to stay... I might as well just stay in Adelaide for Gather Round because my plans were just going to be heading up on the Wednesday to have a bit of extra time. Why would I head to Melbourne on Monday to fly back to Adelaide on Wednesday? I just feel like I'd rather probably save more money anyways because the flights to Adelaide for Gather Round would be more at around this time. I have accommodation already because I planned it out with other people from Thursday, I think, or maybe from Wednesday. I can't remember if it might be Wednesday, might be Thursday. So from the 3-4 days... I'll need to figure out somewhere to fucking stay. And as price friendly as possible. You're stuck in Adelaide till Sunday. You're making out of this as if it's a bad thing though, but I don't understand why you're in Adelaide till Sunday. If I were you, I'd just leave us for just go for 1 or 2 days because you've been to Adelaide before, mate. I'm driving up. Yeah, the reason why I'm not going to drive up to Adelaide this year, the main reason's more just because it's just going to be too much of a hassle. Let's just say, for example, this game, right? I want to get... Oh, geez, we're now $2.86, and I have a feeling it's probably because of the injuries. Could actually put money on Saints to win that game. But let's just have a look, right? Round 1, I want to try and go to and cover as many games as possible. Jesus Christ, the Tigers are $9.30. Didn't even realize I had the odds out already. I guess it's not too far away. But this game, like, let's just say, quickly, before we get into the next game, I'll probably stream this, go to this game, stream this. I want to go to a game on a Saturday night with someone just to have a bit of fun because it's round 1. Wouldn't mind going to as many games as I can. And I'm not going to drive to Adelaide when the game starts at 12. I'd have to literally leave at, and I don't want to drive to Adelaide, 8-hour trip in the middle of the night. I think it's a bit dangerous and I just would rather have sleep. So that's why I decided, well, I'm just going to fly there. First flight that leaves, I think, Melbourne that day. If I didn't give a fuck about the channel and I just wanted to go for the Saints game, I could have just flown or driven on the Saturday. So that would make sense. Like the only way, if I wanted to head to one of these Saturday night games to get to Adelaide would be driving, would be doing it at night. And I just think it's just not worth it. I think it's dangerous. Because I'll probably be really tired. Because if I'm going to be... Think about it, like, if I'm going to be at this game, and if I maybe wanted to get a video out for that game, I'll be up late, not get much sleep. I'll be up early to cover these games. I'll get no sleep, so I'll be running off 3 hours sleep. Driving 8 hours non-stop. You're just asking for trouble. Next up, we have St Kilda v Freo. Not sure where I'm going to put this one, but I can't remember the game at all. So a lot of the game, I should have a can't remember category, but I feel like a can't remember category is a bit stupid, but I'm just going to chuck it random. Who cares? This game was also great. I think this game was better than the Geelong. I'm going to put it in unbelievable. The St Kilda v Geelong comeback. Quickly talk about this one really quick. But yeah, we came back from 30 points down against Geelong, who were going to be top 2 if they didn't fuck that one up. So yeah, up there for sure. Hopefully Chris is still watching. Oh yeah, also another thing. I finally got to finally driving again, which is good. On Tuesday, I decided to finalize everything. So we have this rental car, whatever you call it, for as long as we need it. So I'm genuinely hoping it's for a very long time, because it is a superior car to the old one. And I really don't want to go back to that old car when it's fixed. So maybe, I don't know, maybe it's a write-off. But yeah, it's great to drive. I probably should... I don't even know what the model is, to be honest. I know it's a Nissan. I don't actually know the model. I didn't check it. I've only been driving it for a little bit. Next up, we have Saints v Port in 2024. When's the 100-hour stream? I'm not doing an 100-hour stream. It's going to be a 50-hour stream. I've sort of like bumped it down a little bit, but that's going to be... I understand it's probably a long wait, and I probably should have already done it by now, but that's probably not going to happen for a while. But it's going to happen, all right? It will happen. And when it happens, I'm going to have the IRL stuff set up, so I'll be able to like go around in public, because I don't want to be streaming for 100 hours straight, or 50 even, just in my room. How shit will that be? So I'm going to have to be... I don't know, Australia. I have no idea when it's going to be, all right? But it'll happen. I'm not going to just not do it. If I'm going to do it, it's going to be planned out pretty well, so it's entertaining. It'll be hard to happen on the footy season though, so probably just wait for the 2024 off or 2025 off season when I've got everything prepared, so it's better. Well, yeah, of course I don't want to do a 100-hour stream, and I think it's harsh when I completed every punishment. It wasn't my fault that the fishing just didn't, that the rod broke. I couldn't have done anything about it. I feel like it's just harsh. Where am I putting this game? Yeah, this wasn't great either. No games against Port Adelaide are great, to be fair. We always lose in close ones as well. I'm glad I was in aisle 29 for this one, but ultimately it was pretty disappointing. So, yeah, I felt pretty shit after the game. I'm going to put it in awful. Hey, look, fishing content could... No, it won't happen. What am I saying? Of course I'm not going to do any more fishing. Don't even think I'll do another fishing stream, let alone a video. I'm putting this game straight to best the best. The Saints v Sydney game in 2024. It was actually a good game of footy. Unlike some other close wins like this Gold Coast one. Yeah, it was close. However, it was against Gold Coast and the game quality itself wasn't great. But this is another comeback from behind against a side that were pretty much undefeated for the whole year, just about. It was their third loss, Sydney. And everyone thought I was crazy when I tipped them as well. So the best feeling of a win this year, apart from the Carlton one, almost better. If it happens, will I be... Yeah, I'll be sleeping. Why would I not sleep for 50 hours? Because after the first 15, 20, I'm going to be extremely tired. And the longer the stream goes, the less energy I'm going to have. And it's going to get to a stage where I'm affecting my health pretty badly for no reason. And also, it's going to be boring. I'm just going to have no energy. I'll be so tired. I'll just be sitting. I wouldn't have any energy to do anything if I'm 50 hours with no sleep. So, of course, I'm going to be sleeping. Even for a 24-hour stream, I wouldn't stay up the whole night. Next up, we have Saints v West Coast. I'm actually going to put this one in great. I know it was against West Coast, but it was our biggest win the Saints have had in a very long time. And I actually got to enjoy it a bit more because of it being a bit more recent. Membry kicked 5. Should be playing for us still, but he's not. So, yeah, I'm actually chucking that one in great. All right, fair enough, Wispy. See you, mate. Sorry. All right, next game. 85-102, round 1. Well, this was a pretty bad game. In the moment, I felt a lot worse than maybe what it would have been in hindsight, because Collingwood ended up being a top 4 side in 2022, so they ended up being better than us. But before that game, I thought Collingwood going to be a bottom 4 side because they finished 17th the year before. And I thought we were going to be an 8, maybe a side contending for the 8. So I thought we were going to win at home. It was Nick Dacos' first game as well on a Friday night. Good crowd. Jack Hayes had a good game, but that was about it. I feel like I ranked this game as well, actually. No, maybe not. I don't know. Some games I feel like I ranked in the last stream, but I probably just thought I did. Awful. Next up, we have the Saints v GWS Elam. Going through these ones, trying to get through them a bit quicker. So in my 2023 ranking games video, this wasn't actually that far down. You got a new Hayes. Yeah, exactly. But this game, I don't know. It's not a disaster because it was just the fact that we made... The experience was pretty good, but I can't have a loss in a final any lower than bad. So I will still put in bad. Yeah, I do, Blake. Conveniently, Blake and Marto joined at the exact same time. Well, I wonder why. All right, Carlton v St Kilda in 2023. I reckon this is almost in disaster. I reckon this is arguably the worst game of the year that I went to. The famous Marto and Brother Cheer Squad match. I'm pretty sure I filmed clips for Brother on my camera, actually, where he was on the Cheer Squad. And then I waited after the game to fucking find you guys, but you guys didn't have your phones. And he only messaged me an hour after, so I was just waiting outside the game after a loss in a final. Pretty silly from my end. I should have just left the game straight away. This game, though, I'm going to have it at least an awful. The night before, I was at some party, and it was free piss, so I had as much possible as I could. And obviously, that's a bit of a risk to have when this was the 21st game, the 20th Saints game in a row, so I was on a streak. The game was to go to every game, so I wasn't going to ruin it for this one. But I don't think I felt worse before a game than this one. I felt absolutely terrible. I woke up in a pool of vomit at 11 o'clock when the game started at 3. First time I went to the game, sat with like Checkers and Shrey. That was sort of cool, but overall, like, fuck, it was bad. I was feeling sick during the game. We started well. I got to the game late because I almost was considering not going. We choked a pretty big lead as well, and I was in pretty average seats, so it's a disaster. Next up, we have Gold Coast Freo. Finally, a few neutral games. For those wondering why the hell I went to this game, it was because I was on a family holiday in Gold Coast, and that so happened to be this game. Not really the best game of footy, to be honest, but it was kind of fun because it was in the Gold Coast. And Metricon Stadium was actually... Metricon Stadium, or whatever it's called now, is one of my more underrated grounds. Like, I'm really looking forward to going this year for the Gold Coast Essendon game. I like how they have a footy ground, like a practice footy ground, whatever it is, outside the stadium. It's like in the ground, so you have to enter the ground. And it's pretty much at half time. It's like a ground with goals. I think it's a great idea. The food there is really good. Food is arguably the best of all stadiums at Metricon or whatever you want to call it. And for every game, you get to go on the ground afterwards. So fun, but not the best game. Got our old Hayes still too, and honestly, that's probably more important. Yeah, true, as a coach. This game was also really fun as well. This is the first time going to the new stadium in Gold Coast, and we won by 95 points. So because of that, that's going straight into great. And I remember it a bit. I remember going on the ground afterwards. I went with my dad. Can't remember who scored the goals, but it was a good one. It was a good one. So we'll leave that one at there. Not many more games to go now. We've only got like 13. The secondary ground is within the fence. Yeah, I might quickly show you guys on Google Maps. How many more games? I just showed you. Not many. No, I'm not sick of this. It would have been maybe a bit better if we actually had more people actually tuning in, but I still at least am enjoying the chat, and it's not like Eagles John or anyone like that to ruin it, because I've just hidden all those accounts. Like any account now, I'm not even going to acknowledge them. I'm just going to hide. Yeah, look at this. So that's the ground I'm talking about. It's within the boundary, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, look, you can walk straight into it, but it's like fenced off. And that's like the entry. So you can like walk into it mid-game. And then you got all the food trucks. It's cool. It's good. It's good atmosphere. Well, not actually, it's a terrible atmosphere, but it's a good vibe. What do you mean by don't jinx myself? What am I jinxing myself about? Oh, about Eagles John or not. Nah, they're hidden though. They can't. Let's just get through it before they join then, shall we? It's kind of like mosquitoes in the summer. You should just quickly get what you need to get done before heading back inside before the mosquitoes come out. Otherwise, my mods are going to be a bit of insect repellent. Different from GMHBA. Yeah, different, but that makes sense because that's its own ground. I don't think they play footy there. I actually wouldn't. I think that's only there just for like practicing. Like no local team plays at that ground. I could be wrong though. This is a good game. This is a good fun game actually. This first draw that I went to that wasn't a Saints game, and I think the only draw. No, not the only draw. Collingwood Essendon 2024 against West Coast, where Tom Lynch kicked a goal with 4 seconds to go, when West Coast were a grand finalist side and Gold Coast were bad. So yeah, good upset. Even though it wasn't really a loss, it was still a good game. The best neutral game in Gold Coast I've been to. Dogs, Suns, Darwin, let's do it maybe. No, Blake, that's the... Remember we were talking about the video? That was the day. I'm already going to Darwin. I was talking about it earlier in the chat with Callum, like the week after. I'm not going to Darwin twice in a row, and that's the week we're doing that video, remember? I'm hoping you're still down for that, because I don't want someone last minute saying they can't do it. Sydney v St Kilda at the SCG 2013. So I wasn't meaning to go to this game, but last minute my dad had a business trip in Sydney and was like, do you want to go to the footy? I'm like, fuck yeah. We had like a really... Okay, so I'll come to Darwin if cheap. Huh? I don't know if you're taking the piss or not, because I'm almost certain you are. Why would you want to go to Darwin? That game is... not even a Saints game. It's Gold Coast Hawks. I'm going with bloody Callum. We don't play in Darwin, mate. We play in Alice Springs. Go to that game if you want. I'd fucking be up for it. I know you don't want to go, though. Yeah, this game was pretty bad. It was fun, though. First time at the SCG, at least. But it was a really average game. And I remember straight after the game, we had to go to the airport. Put it in bad. This game was also pretty average, which was disappointing. A game at the SCG, you would have expected to be a bit better. This is a part of the... Blake, I don't know what you're talking about now. A part of the video that UCAT did with the darts. Now, we obviously had this planned beforehand, but it was part of the concept. So he knew that this is the game he was going to, but he, for the video, which you probably would have made aware of at some stage. Yeah, this was an average game of footy, which was disappointing because... It was a top 2 clash just about on a Friday. Really excited for this one. Sydney were way too good. So I'm going to put in average. Average is a harsh one for that. I want to go interstate game. Well, then go to the Alice Springs, mate. That'd be a good experience. Sydney v Melbourne in 2023 was a good one. This was almost a great game. Cheering on the D's at the SCG. Last round of the season. I went to this game last minute after Brisbane, so it was interesting. I went to Brisbane for the Saints game. Then on the Sunday, I decided, I'll go to Sydney for this game. Jordan asked me if I wanted to go. It wasn't going to cost that much more because it was like one flight to another. It wasn't like flying to Sydney and back. And it was a fun one. Melbourne won last quarter. Good game of footy. And it was really fun after the game as well because everyone... was on the ground at the SCG. Like, it was the longest kick-to-kick I've been to for, ever. It was it lasted over an hour. I don't know how long it actually ended up lasting, but it was still there, an hour and a half after the game. And then afterwards, we went to a pub to watch the St Kilda v Not the St Kilda VGW, the Carlton VGWS game. It was shit nervous I was for that one, but it was still good because we didn't have to play an away final in Sydney. So, yeah, I'm putting this one in great. All right, not too long to go now. Only a few more games. Saints v Sydney, round 1. Wow, this was low scoring. I don't know. Let's just put it in here. Can't really be too sure where this game ranks, to be honest. Next game, we have Sydney v St Kilda in Sydney. Actually, this is my first ever interstate trip. Yeah, I know, Jimbo. Nah, no just chatting. I'm done after this. Sorry. Not going to happen. I was going to say, this might be the last stream I do in Australia for a bit. For a few weeks. First ever interstate trip I went to. At ANZ Stadium this was. I've only ever been to that ground once. And it was in 2007. Because I don't play footy there anymore. I probably would go again if they did play, but they don't. So, for that reason alone, well, not really for that reason alone. We lost by 17 points. I don't remember much of it. I remember a little bit about where I sat. I know I sat level 1. I'm going to Indonesia, Bali, for a couple of weeks with some mates. Yeah, but I'm still going to bring my equipment up there. I'm probably going to still... I'll see if I can stream a couple of pre-season games. Sydney v St Kilda. Wow, this was... Yeah, it was around that time. Like this was a shocker. This was a really, really bad game. I was quite optimistic. It was a massive game in the context of the season. Because that was the round where beforehand every team in the top 8 played each other. So look at that. Trying to have a look. Brisbane, Melbourne, Freo, Geelong, Carlton, Richmond, Sydney, St Kilda. That was the top 8, and every single game involving a top 8 team had another top 8 team in the game. So Melbourne v Brisbane wasn't a good one. Carlton Freo wasn't really that great. This is the only good game, and I missed it because I was going to the Sydney game. I remember we went to some Peruvian restaurant. My mum forced me to some stupid Peruvian restaurant before the game for dinner. It wasn't really that good. It was actually, no, it was okay, but it was unfortunate because I missed out on this classic of a game. And then I went to this game and fuck, it was shit. We scored 2 goals up until 5 minutes to go in the last quarter. So, I really don't know what to say. I didn't know what to say after the game. It was absolutely deplorable. We had, we kicked, we were in front actually at one stage. Wooden spoon data. You'd remember this one. Do you often have different food with your mum? Not really. Yeah, I didn't even want to go, but I was just like, oh yeah. So we went with my mum and my mum's good friend. She's like a cousin of my mum. So yeah, she lives in Sydney. Sometimes if we ever play in Sydney, I am able to stay at her place, which saves a bit of money. So whenever there's a game in Sydney, so I think I'll be going to Sydney a couple times this year. I'll see if I can stay there. It does help, but yeah. So she was with us as well. I filmed the whole vlog. I just don't think I filmed anything here because I didn't think it was going to be valuable to be put in the vlog. But anyways, who cares about that? That's going in disaster again. Terrible. One of the worst in-state trips I've ever been to. All right, only 4 more to go. 5 more, I should say. Sydney v St Kilda in 2023. I think it was probably 14 years since we last won at the SCG. The last game was 2009 when Lee Montagna kicked that point to win 18 games in a row. So this one has to be quite high up there, you would think. Yeah, I'm going to probably have it in the... Well, think about the fact that the first quarter was one of the weirdest first quarters of footy. It was a Thursday game as well, mind you. And an upset as well. We weren't expected to win. I didn't even tip us. The first quarter, 2 scores in the entire quarter. That might be the lowest amount of combined scoring shots in a quarter in the 21st century. That I'm not even exaggerating. Someone find a stat for that. 25 minutes. It just did not. There weren't even any stoppages. It just went from end to end. Nothing happened.
Blue Boy TD is now a member. Saints are making the 8 emo.
I don't think we are anymore, to be honest. Total drama because of, at the moment, the injuries we have. So we'll see how many we have fit for round one. But if like 4 or 5 of our best 22 players aren't, it's going to be harder to see it happening. Yeah, look at that. We came back from a couple goals before the end of the quarter. I don't think we're going to win at this point because Buddy Franklin, as AL said, it was his 350th. This is what I'm talking about. We were 1-14 and it was 34-4. And I thought this is going to be the 2022 game all over again. But we stuck fat and it was a really, really, really fun game to go to in the cheer squad. So this is going to be an unbelievable for me, considering everything. And considering, like, I've been to a few games of the SCG and we've been smashed, so finally a good win. We are definitely not making the 8. No, don't say we're definitely not, because I'm sure everyone would have said that in 2023 when we had a lot of injuries as well, King and Membry, and we still made the 8. So don't underestimate Ross Lyon. I think we're a better team than what we were in 2023. Personally, I think we'll be a higher scoring side as well. I wouldn't say we're definitely not making the 8. I'm sort of pissed off, right? Because I placed a bet for the Saints to make the finals. And I reckon if I look at the odds for that right now, they'd be higher. So I could have waited. Because I was going to do it anyways. I always like to do it just in case. Just make a bet like that because you just never know. Let's take a look at the odds now for the Saints. I reckon we're like... Yeah, we've dropped to $5.50. So according to Sportsbet, we are going to finish bottom 4. What are our odds to finish bottom 4? This is going to be interesting. We're $2.10. Oh, fuck, man. We're not finishing bottom 4. If we don't finish in the 8, we'll finish like 11th or 12th. It's not going to be bottom 4. If it's bottom 4, we might as well make the most out of, playing the young, as many games with the youngsters as we can, and then get a good draft pick. And then 2026 will rebound. Even with all the scrutiny, I still don't think we'll make bottom 4. Can't really see it happening unless we had like a plane, unless a plane crash happened before round 1 and all our players died in a plane crash. Then we probably do finish bottom 4. Richmond v St Kilda 2013. This was the game I was talking about. I don't know why this is so far down the list, but this is the game where I got kicked out of the cheer squad. So, yeah, awful. Already talked about it earlier. West Coast St Kilda 2020. Could this be the worst ever game of footy I've been to where we won? Especially interstate as well. Normally, any interstate win's a good win. But, like, this game was after the Swans smashed the Eagles by 175 points. Tim Kelly was a late out, and we were... The Eagles were $13 odds to win the game at home against a shitty Saints side. And they're up by 5 goals at a stage in the second quarter. So, yeah, that was about as bad as it got in the game. But we found a way to come back somehow, like in the North game the week after. But I probably would say not even boring. I actually think bad. No, we won. So I'm going to put an average. I don't think I can put a Saints win in bad. But that was probably one of the worst wins. Yeah, but for neutral fans, it would have been better. All right, West Coast Saints. This is probably a good game. This is also when West Coast are really bad. I probably expected to win by a bit more, but we won by 5 goals, so you can't complain against the Eagles to win by 5 goals. Nothing. It felt like a loss, you're right. It did, because there was more pressure on the Saints after that game than what there would have been, beforehand, despite a win. The most unconvincing win we've had in a while. Yeah, probably good. Probably good. I went to this game with UCAT, just like this one as well. Probably just better because it was interstate than this game. And then the final game, actually, we have is a gather round game, West Coast Sydney. AL was at this game. Yes, I heard that, Jimbo. I don't really have any thoughts on it. You know, it's only ODIs. Who really cares? It's only Stoinis. But no, fair enough. Good career. And this is a good game as well. Before the game was pretty fun. Harley Reid's first goal. Mount Barker. Love Mount Barker. Too bad they don't play footy there again. They should. I don't know. I took the greatest crowd mark ever. One of the greatest crowd marks. Too bad it wasn't during the game. But yes, I did. You got on TV for Harley Reid's first goal as well. I'll put it fun / not the best game because I left at 3/4 time. I kind of had to leave because it was never going to be close. We were going to stay till the end if it was a close one, but I thought this was going to be like an 100-point win to Sydney. So West Coast did all right to actually not get smashed. All right, we're done now. Let's just quickly go through the games. We've been here for 2.5 hours, so yeah, like for the few people that joined this stream, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to keep it up, so hopefully people can watch the replay. So that's kind of probably why I shouldn't have gone on too many tangents, just in case people wanted to like go through games. Because I don't know if this is a stream people are going to watch back, but I hope it is because I don't want to just be completely worthless. Before we wrap it up, could we maybe get a donation on the stream? I don't think we've had a stream without a dono in a while. And we are currently sitting at 0, which, yeah, we've had members, but even a 99 cents could just, we don't want to have a streak broken. We want every stream at least to have something. I don't know. We'll see. Probably not though. So the games for this in best the best, we have Port, Hawthorn and Saints Sydney. This is last
J.
Tomo, thank you.
Donated
thank you.
Australian dollars and 99 cents through
I wasn't
Super
sure
Chat.
because no one in the chat were
Smile.
heavy donators at all. So I was thinking, oh fuck, it was going to be a... No, thank you. Cool. Does it matter? Not really, but I just want to at least see one donation. All right, cool. Quickly go through these ones. Not too many and unbelievable. We have a few here. Saints, Freo, Richmond. A couple of Saints Geelong games, the last two. Great, good, and then the disaster games were all recent games because it kind of means a bit more. Because I was more recent, I can remember the games more, I remember the experience, and the games were just shit house. We played like crap in all of these games. So, yeah, I'm going to end it now because I'm hungry and I've got a lot of stuff to do afterwards with the barley and all that, and getting as many things prepared for it as possible through content and obviously the actual trip. So yeah, thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. I'm not sure when I'll be next streaming at all, to be honest, because at least here, I'm not going to do another stream in this setup unless it's the members stream, like a quick one. But I'm going to bring stuff over because I definitely want to cover, if I can, some of the match sim games because they do quite well on the channel. And we'll see. If I don't do it, I don't do it. And if not, then I'll probably be back streaming in 2 or 3 weeks if I'm here. So unless I do like an IRL maybe, which I probably will do actually. I think I'll do an IRL stream if I don't stream through OBS when I'm there. But yeah, thank you for watching. Cheers, Wooden Spoon Data. Cheers, Andy, AL, Lachlan, Luke, Randy, Brandon, the people that were actually contributing in the chat. I do appreciate that a lot because if it wasn't for you guys, fuck, it would have been a shit stream. It would have been so boring. Some of my best ones are pre-season. What? Yeah, I don't know how many pre-season vlogs I'll be doing. I might do 1 or 2, but yeah, thank you all for the ones that did tune in, and I'll see you.